veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. And I'm up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend. That's right, in the AM, that's my only friend. No light, just the sun coming up on the horizon. I lose track of time, yeah, I move fast and climb a new class divine, yeah, true passion shines. And I'm through passing time, I choose stacking dimes. You snooze half the time while I move passing by. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. I've been driving this train, years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. And I'm up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend. That's right, in the AM, that's my only friend. No light, just the sun coming up on the horizon. I lose track of time, yeah, I move fast and climb a new class divine, yeah, true passion shines. And I'm through passing time, I choose stacking dimes. You snooze half the time while I move passing by. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. And I'm up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend. That's right, in the AM, that's my only friend. No light, just the sun coming up on the horizon. I lose track of time, yeah, I move fast and climb a new class divine, yeah, true passion shines. And I'm through passing time, I choose stacking dimes. You snooze half the time while I move passing by. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. I've been driving this train, years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. And I'm up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend. That's right, in the AM, that's my only friend. No light, just the sun coming up on the horizon. I lose track of time, yeah, I move fast and climb a new class divine, yeah, true passion shines. And I'm through passing time, I choose stacking dimes. You snooze half the time while I move passing by. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. veins. I've been driving this train, years in this lane. There's no stopping this flame, cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the
Yes, big up to all of you. I do hope you're all doing well. I appreciate you all finding the time to be the part of the show this particular morning. Yes, we won. There are still negatives and positives, but positives are mainly the mentality we showed after going to go down against Brighton at home. A lot of people were concerned. I wasn't moved. I had trust in this team. I started trusting them gradually. Not quite there yet. But that's, by the way, without wasting much of your time, I will catch up with what we have in the chat. Say hello to all of you so we can get into the match review exercise proper. I want to hear your thoughts, what you the negatives and the positives, your observations based on your observations from the game. Before we'll start looking at the numbers, breaking, discussing individual performances, and we will try to round up as soon as possible. And Rain is in the house. Nice to see you, Mr. Rain. I do hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. Who else is here? Jackson. And pardon me, I'm still struggling a bit with cold, but I think I will be fine. We have here in the microphone Le Palma. Listen, it's a team. It's a team effort. His teammates did all the things that were good. People created chances for him. He said, "Yeah, even the penalty, the free kick, those, yeah, people created the chances for him. So don't say he did it alone." And I think we have the sort of squad that in one game, one person could score a million goals, and then the next game that person will not even score two. Someone else will score three. So we have a very good squad. I don't think it's a case of him carrying Chelsea. I don't want to see Sanchez in goal again. He will cost us at one point, but Jorgensen in goal. Here's the thing. As long as we try to play out from the back like we do during games, those sort of mistakes will happen. But I think two in a game was just too much. And he's done well. And Namaya, I've told you that before. I think you flip flop a lot. How quickly you judge people surprises me a lot. But you have every right to. Rain is in the house. Rain, nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to be with us on this day. We keep going. Let's see what else we have here. Sanchez is not just again just because of, but he's been doing well and we've been praising him, and then one game he makes one two mistake. You're saying he's finished. I don't agree. I Okay, press you for appointing Maresca. Yeah, now you're praising them. Chelsea played very well. Yeah, we played very well except for the shaky defensive line. For me, if I were the manager, I would have started Tosin at the back line just to have some measure of somebody that will calm the nerves of his defensive teammates if we get pressure like Brighton did. We've talked about this 1,000 times. The pairing of Colwell and Fafana, I wouldn't say it's bad, but they lack that maturity. And Tosin brings that maturity. Tosin knows when to slow things down a bit, when to be in a hurry. But for those two, as good as they've done since the start of the season, whenever we're under pressure, they start panicking, especially if we concede. I've said that 1,000 times, and I'm going to stop talking about it. I think the manager himself will figure it out. It's good to keep giving Wesley Fofana game time so he can get to that level, to the level he showed at Leicester City before we signed him. But even at that, we cannot take Tosin's importance for granted. He's an excellent player, very intelligent, has excellent passing range. He can orchestrate line breaking passes, even from the defensive line. Reads the game very well also. So I think the manager probably by now knows and maybe felt like we could do without him in that game, but it was a huge risk. We could see how you say they still lack experience to be that good as they've been since the start of the season. But that's just my opinion anyway. And Wycliffe Barish in the house. This would easily have been a clean sheet. Yep, if we were not, if it were not for Sanchez, even the clearance itself was like primary school clearance. So there are a lot of people. If we start finger pointing, we have to start from the defenders. The clearance was poor in the first place. Um, so I'm not sure what what else to say here. So we don't. I don't think it makes sense to just start finger pointing. Start. You can say blaming the Sanchez alone. No, there were 4, 5 players that, if you take your time to look at it again, you could say that yeah, either of them, either of the 4 people, of the 4 individuals, was the reason why we consider one of the first goal. Then the second one was Sanchez, clearly. But these things happen even from the best. Neuer, Ederson, and Allison, all of them do make these mistakes every now and then. And since the start of the season, he hasn't made too many, so you can excuse him for that. And probably he was, you could argue, probably a bit uh, uh, were nervous, given that we were at home to his former team, and probably wanted to show them what he's capable of doing, and ended up doing too much. But that's just my opinion anyway. But we all make mistakes because we are humans. Yep. The last time we were everywhere, he was the one that saved us. We could have lost that game against Bournemouth, but he saved us. Remember. Yeah, keep saying it. I think the signs are good. We have a very, very good squad, and our manager looks like he's the sort of person that will get the best out of this team. Keep dropping the likes, understand people. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all. Sancho balled out as usual. Again, Palma, Julian Alvarez would have been mad. Instead, we have Jackson. Jackson is good. He does everything right, and it looks like they've decided to give him the time to improve. He does everything right except perform consistently in terms of being efficient in front of goal. And yeah, but let's see how that goes. One game he's the best in the world. The next one, yeah, he's you'd hate seeing him on the pitch. Yep, he did ball out. Big up to you too, Gavin. Nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining the show. Jackson missed all chances. Yeah. Then the next game now he was scored 10 in a single game. Should have gotten a hat trick. Palmer also should have scored like 6. Wolfgang division. Palmer should have scored like 6 or 7 at least, and he did say that himself. Good morning to you too. Nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. We have Priestley Chidi saying, morning to you too. Up to Chelsea. Yep, up to Chelsea. Forward to go. Good progress. We're making excellent progress. And I'm proud of how well we've done since the start of the season. Nobody expected us to do this well. I know next thing you will hear, yeah, the real test will be against the other team, and hopefully we keep progressing. The signs are there. It looks like the manager has drilled a serious mentality into the players that even if we're goal down, we don't panic. We were goal down, we risked everything to get an equalizing goal, scored more. They scored when it was I think was it 3-1. I can't quite remember the sequence of the goals. We were still pushing. We didn't care. We wanted more goals. We didn't make defensive changes. Big up to you too, DJ. Nice to see you, DJ, and big up to the chat. What a match yesterday! People to be people to be there to witness a Cole Palmer a free kick. Oh my days! Yeah, the distance. I didn't expect him to score from that distance. Really, I just have to be honest. I thought maybe he was going to put it in the box with the hopes of someone getting at the end of it and putting it in the back of the net. But he aimed the 90th angle, and boy, it was clean. Yep. And with this Cole Palmer a free kick. Oh, yep. Oh my days, indeed. I wish I could really do it, but my truth itches a lot because I'm struggling with code here. What a finish and what a player! Ice Cole Palmer. He's an excellent player indeed. Sanchez was poor, yeah, but these things happen. But he's been excellent since the start of the season, and I'm quite sure you know that he's actually surprised a lot of us, a lot of people that didn't, that thought, what's his name, Philip Jorgensen will come in and then take the number 1 place. But Sanchez, he deserved to be between the sticks in that game. But this has happened. I've told you. Let's mention names: Edison, Manuel Neuer, Allison. This top level goalkeepers that every now and then make such mistakes. It will become an issue if after this game, the next one, he does the same thing, just like when Edward Mendy was averaging a single mistake per game. Then, yeah, the manager, he knows, will have a capable replacement in the waiting in the person of Philip Jorgensen. Chelsea Bliss saying, Coach, big up. I honestly believe Sanchez let the Brighton fans get in his head. I think that was how I felt like he was a bit nervous. He was, but he grew into the game and did well. Some excellent save, even a deflected shot. You could say a cross that the Brighton players put into the box, and it deflected off of our defender, and he was quick enough to punch it out and didn't let it go into the back of the net. That would have been, you could, chances I would be talking about a different outcome right now had it not been for his reflexes in that. So let's just move on. We won. We showed excellent mentality. But you're like, honestly, bro, please, no excuses for Brighton. He will cost us big time in matches. Let's see. Like I said, these things happen. He saved us in a couple of occasions since the start of the season. We must not say, yeah, because he made mistakes in one game and say that's it. I think, yes, and I'm going to say this. We have a capable, maybe an even better replacement in Philip Jorgensen. But I don't think the manager would, because of a single game, will, because of a single game, say, okay, you know what, you're not playing the next one. I think probably he had to make mistakes consistently before the manager says, you know what, that's it, you're done. If you get my point. The reason I am hard on Jackson, coach, because I know he can become the better striker in the Premier League. It's just annoying, to know that he can't perform consistently. And his thing, the good thing is that he himself knows he has to improve. You get the point. He said that he does know that he has to improve. I want to see it. Even again, I did make a I did make a post on X saying the biggest problem is that he does everything else well, but when he gets to what matters the most, he doesn't do it efficiently and consistently. One game, he's Cristiano Ronaldo. The next one, you'll be saying what happened to the Jackson we saw last week. That's just the issue. Hopefully he gets there. Hopefully it's not something that you can say it remains forever. Rivals are they're fuming. We were actually second. Had Arsenal the Arsenal game against Leicester City finished in a draw, we'd be second right now. So we're doing well enough. We are doing well enough, and I'm seeing liking the sort of mentality that I'm seeing for the players. You don't see our players sulking like we did under our ex. When after conceding a goal, you see them moving as if they don't want to be on the pitch. But these crop of players under Enzo Maresca, even after conceding, you see them working hard as if the game is just starting, and that made a huge difference against Brighton. We didn't look as if we were going to lose that game. Even immediately after conceding, we nearly scored a goal a few seconds later, or at most a minute and some seconds. That's the sort of mentality you want to see. And if they continue playing like that, irrespective of whether we're down by a goal or two, you'd still be confident singing, supporting them, knowing that yeah, they don't fear anything, and that's excellent. Let's see. Let's see. I tell everyone we will finish third. Everyone thinks I'm crazy. You may well be crazy. No, you're not crazy, bro. The signs are there. And here's the thing. I listened to Chelsea fan CV, what's his name again? My guy there. Gosh, he was saying when we were a goal down, he didn't move. He felt as if yeah, that's nothing. And I felt the same way. I felt like yeah, nothing is gonna happen. That we will eventually equalize and even win. So the trust is building again gradually. Because you're seeing the players perform to the max. You're seeing them work for each other because you're seeing clearly they love the manager. They're buying into his ideas. They want to play for him. You see those things, and that's very really really nice to see. Jay's in the house. Jay, nice to see you. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular morning. And Gavin, if you don't mind, trigger the command. You're my bro, and I trust you. I respect you. Let's help each other grow. Big up to you, to Nemanja for Sanchez made mistakes. He needs to be dropped. No, you can't do it. But how about when he saved you? That's not how it works. If you drop them, listen, you're better off sticking a beat, not sticking forever. If that person continues to make the mistakes, if the mistake make mistakes, if you stick with that person, then you're asking for it. But after one mistake or two, you can give them another chance. If it turns out the mistake they made, they're not able to like overcome it, it's become an issue, then that's when you drop them. The big difference I see from last season is the situation where Poch usually sub to make more defensive changes if we're leading 1-0, while Enzo keeps the same shape. Yep, with the belief that we can do it, and everything comes down to the sort of mentality you instill in the players, if that makes sense. I wasn't concerned one bit. But that's, by the way, keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go along. We appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. Jackson was fuming yesterday because, yeah, he probably finished the game knowing that he could have scored at least 2 goals. But he got an assist, but he could have scored 2 himself. One thing I love about Maresca is that he doesn't play players out of position. He plays them where it best suits them. Heston, at the start of the season, people were complaining. People were complaining, saying, "Let Reece James be Reece James. Don't try to invert him. Let Kukurea be Kukurea." Because it during preseason, it seemed as if things weren't working, and then first few games maybe it looks like as if it didn't work. It looked as if it didn't work. So people already were starting saying he was playing players out of position. So it's a Chelsea thing. But I'm not concerned. But Wycliffe Barish, nice to see you. Playing from the back cannot be implemented without top class players in defense and in goal. This will keep happening if you keep playing. It didn't nothing serious actually. The mistakes when that you could argue it could have been avoided. One was poor clearance from our defenders. The other was the goalkeeper himself making a mistake. These things happen. It becomes a serious issue if it starts happening consistently. Nice to see you, my bro Santiago Munoz. My assistant is in the house today. Nice to see you out here. Hope you're doing well. Smash the like button, people, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We have 14 likes. I think we should be doing much better than that. We'll see. Let's see what happens. The Prince is here. Nice to see you. I hope you're doing well too, and thank you for finding the time to join us. I'm gonna scroll to the very bottom in a bit. Yesterday I changed my pet dog's name to Tosin. That's a good one. We're lucky to have Maresca. I think we're lucky to have him indeed. Forget a lot of people saying we signed a championship manager. Football doesn't work that way. If you're good, you're good. GFC Gavin, big up, man. People, go and subscribe to Gavin's YouTube channel. Let's help him get to 5,000 subscribers as soon as possible. He deserves that. The link is there. He's provided the link in the comment section. Sanchez makes Sanchez may be scared because of Fofana. Maybe Tosin in defense. Sanchez might be confident. You never know. But I think that defensive line still needs Sanchez, especially in such a game where the opposition play high octane football and will pressure us. Will pressure us a lot during the game. We need a calm head in the defensive line, and yesterday we didn't have that. I am more confident with Tosin at the back. Fofana should take a break. You could say ease him in gradually and let him know how to slow. You could say be a bit calm a bit and not almost always in a hurry. The pairing of Fofana and Colwell, not bad, but not perfect. Still needs a cool-headed leader like Tosin in that back line. That will make a whole lot of difference. But that's a small opinion anyway. Without wasting much of your time, let me bring on Dante. Dante, big up to you. I know you watched the game, definitely. So we want to hear from you, from your observations, the negatives and the positives, and your overall take on the game.
Yeah, big up, coach. Big up,
Sure.
everyone in the chat.
Sorry,
Yeah, great game to watch. Obviously, especially that first half. That was a good for the neutrals. That was a good game to watch. So, um, look, I was confident we were going to score goals in that game because I know how Brighton play. Like I was saying on our last stream,
the
I was
high
saying
line.
that they play a high line with this new coach and space in behind, plenty of space. If you're smart, we've got good passes on the ball. You're going to put balls through all the time and catch them out. So I'll set up. We'll probably score around 2 or 3 goals, maybe. I was saying 3-1, the result, not too far away, but I was confident we're going to score goals. I was confident that the wingers will get involved quite a lot and have chances, and obviously Cole Palmer as well. Yeah, amazing Cole Palmer, of course. What a game that was. Record 4 goals in the first half. That was absolutely amazing. It's a shame we didn't get a bit more in the second half, but we had the chances to do it. A lot of our players. Positives, obviously, Cole Palmer, the win, obviously, that's positive. The negatives, probably, obviously, our good friend Sanchez making 2 big mistakes, leading to 2 goals. I just heard you before saying that he should still be, keep him in goals. I probably agree with that. He's made 2 mistakes. He probably gets one more chance,
Yep.
and I think he's probably out. I think Jorgensen would have been in already if he was more accustomed to the team, and he came pretty late, obviously. So, yeah, I think we kept saying all along that Jorgensen. I kept saying it along as well that I think Jorgensen will eventually replace Sanchez because I see the Sanchez making those mistakes more and more often. And like I said, he's made these mistakes last game, the game before that, but they weren't punished, so it wasn't highlighted. In this game, they were highlighted. Both goals were the first goal. Yeah, you can say the defense didn't clear the ball properly, but still, he had no business coming out and punching at air. There was nothing to come out for. He
And
was
if you're
so
gonna
far
come
away
out,
from
you
the
must
ball.
be sure you reached it. And
Yeah, he didn't even
very
get
well.
close to it, and he knocked our player out. So that was horrible. That's definitely his fault in the end. The second, of course, his fault as well. Look, it's going to happen. The way we play this style, it's going to happen. It's just how
But if it
much it happens.
happens consistently, it becomes an issue.
Well, it is an issue,
If it
coach, because
happens, let's say three, four matches in a row, I think the manager would drop him.
No, not that many. I wouldn't give him that many. I would replace him now if it was me. I would have taken him off at halftime if it was me. Uh, but look, yeah, he probably get another chance. But that could have cost us. Those 2 goals could have cost us points.
Had it not been that we have a very potent attack, yeah, it could have cost us. Yeah, I
Exactly.
think I
Yeah.
agree.
And it is consistent, coach, because he's been doing it. He's been doing it for a while at Chelsea. Every game last season, nearly that he played, and he did it. He did it at Brighton. Hence, he fell down the pecking order of Brighton. So he's actually consistent at it. He has been doing consistently for a while, making these mistakes, and that's why I don't prefer him as a goalkeeper, a long-term goalkeeper. Maybe now, okay, just for a little while till we figure out the goalkeeping situation, but I still would want Jorgensen. Jorgensen's a much better shot stopper, but much more. He's got IQ. He's got a much higher IQ than Sanchez. Sanchez just doesn't have the IQ. He's a bit slow at times. And with the pass and coming out was way off. The timing was way off. I can tell you now, Jorgensen wouldn't have done that. He wouldn't have. He would have stayed in goals. He wouldn't have come for that. And if he did, he probably would have been there because he's much quicker. So, yeah, look, there's a few things. Sanchez, obviously. The other one, Madueke, and I was saying that on our last show. Madueke, this is his 3rd game in a row that he's been pretty not bad, but yeah, very average. I'll say very average.
You could
Again,
argue, had it not been for his selfishness in 2 games in a row, he'd have
mhm.
2 more assists to his name right now if he has any already.
Easy,
I don't know. But he's been
easy
too
passes. One of them was very easy.
yeah, too selfish. It's just and I've seen one of the people I like the most on X arguing that he's not selfish. Do you know the one game he cited? That game where he squared the ball to Jackson when even our X at the time was surprised that he squared the ball because he didn't expect him to.
Yeah,
He said that shows his maturing, but he could have had 2 assists to his name this season. He was in an angle where it'd be difficult to score, but had 3 teammates in the box you could say in a much better position that it could have been just tap-ins for them, but he didn't square the ball to them. He's risking it. He's risking it because if the manager decides, you know what, this guy has gotten enough opportunity, but he hasn't performed consistently in that particular position. Let me give Neto a chance, and if Neto comes in and takes that opportunity, that's it for Madueke. He's going to become a bench warmer. That's just my opinion, anyway. Before we bring on Bobby, let's catch up with what we have in the chat. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along with. We have 15 likes. We can do a lot better than that. Okay. Enzo Fernandez off the ball play in an area of concern. Enzo Maresca needs to find a solution to provide more solidity to our midfield at Brighton, where Watson threw throughout the game. Okay, I'm guessing, but I need to watch that again. I think Enzo Fernandez, he didn't do that bad, but he's that sort of player you're not gonna know. You it's not it'd be difficult to tell what he's doing on the pitch until you don't have him on the pitch. Honestly, he's an excellent player. It takes a lot to understand what he brings to the team. A lot of people don't. What else do we have here? Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. And Rainy saying Duran or Osimhen, pick one. I'll pick Duran over Osimhen anytime, any day. And I don't start today. So you're asking the wrong person. I'm not saying Osimhen is a bad player, but I think Duran has more to his game. Um, Osimhen, for me, there's a lot of questions. I'm not going to get into that debate right now. We have other things to talk about. Lavia will take Fernandez's place. I don't think so. If anything, Lavia will be rotating with Casado. Yep, I think Enzo Fernandez is unique right now until proven otherwise. I don't see anybody that's competing with him in terms of him being more of a register or a deep lying playmaker. We don't have too many of those, if that makes sense. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. We still have a total of 38 people watching, 15 on YouTube, the rest on X. Let's get the likes up, people. The likes do go a long way. Big up to you too, Bobby, and thank you for joining us. So Bobby, let's hear you. You watched the game. You were eager for us to do a post-game show, but no, I had to take my boys to the game yesterday. Your observations overall, take on the game, negatives and positives. Bobby, let's hear you, and thank you, more importantly, for finding the time to be with us.
Yeah, big up, guys.
Big up. Your voice seems to be a bit fainty, Bobby. We can
Oh,
barely
hang
hear
on,
you.
can you hear me
Okay, there
now?
you go.
Yeah, my microphone wasn't towards my mouth. Look, clearly this was an important win, and I'm very glad we won.
Irrespective
You
of what
know,
happened, right?
yeah, I mean, I like the win. I thought the win uh, was important. I thought we came back from more of a precarious situation that we created for ourselves
Mm-hmm.
than Brighton put upon us. However, look, we have to remember that we're still that team in development. We're not there yet, and this was a bit of a reminder. We saw our potential and what we
Bobby,
are
just quickly,
capable of.
Jay, apologies. I know you joined before Bobby. I totally forgot. That shows you're not important anyway. I hope you understand it was a mistake on my part. Bobby, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, Jay. Yeah, we what was I saying? I've sort of lost my trend of thought now.
Sorry,
I
we're
was
still
talking about
not
the
there
game.
yet. We're still,
Yeah,
again, yeah.
we're not there. We are definitely a work in progress, and this showed that. What I liked most about it was that you see when you are in that process of reintegrating the team, um, getting your team well rehearsed and capable of playing these different patterns and changes in play. Um, you still scrape up wins. That's the important thing. It was very
Mhm.
glaring when in the second half we wanted to play keepy ball and we looked very clumsy and very prone to error. It was very dicey, Caicedo losing the ball in midfield, even Lavia losing the ball in midfield, the centre backs looking a bit shaky, and of course Sanchez, who I really wanted to address. I never was a Sanchez fan. In recent times, he has impressed me. He has turned up some good performances, but this particular game showed that his old issues haven't really gone away. Now, I'll be very hesitant to add all these accolades to Jorgensen. Jorgensen does look solid. He does. He does appear to be better with his feet. He does. He does appear to be intelligent. He does. But we're yet to see Jorgensen under Premier League type of pressure. Can he cope with it? I believe so. But he's got to be tested. He's got to be tested before we give him accolades. I think Sanchez is putting his position at risk. I don't see Maresca somehow suddenly pulling the trigger. I think he'll give him ample chances to rectify himself, rightly or wrongly. I don't
But
know,
you
but
know
I
you don't want to see Thomas Tuchel Eduardo Mendy situation where he keeps going
no,
and he keeps
no,
playing him.
I
You
would
remember
rather
that,
not.
right, Bobby? You
Yeah,
remember
very
that?
much so. Very much so. And it's a very difficult thing for a manager to deal with. You don't want to totally demoralize your goalkeeper
Mm-hmm.
and,
Mm-hmm.
and humiliate him. And at the same time, you do want him to improve his game. And at the same time, you can't afford to keep risking it. So he has a chance. He's done this again. He needs to be spoken to. And if he does anything like that again in the next game, which I think is Forest, where he's going to have to be very careful because I saw them in their game with Fulham. Yeah, they lost, but they are extremely physical. Extremely. In fact, I'll go as far as to
And
say that
they
Forest.
exploit spaces in front of the box effectively.
Yeah, yeah, they're very powerful, and I'll go as far as to say that Forest are probably the most physical team in the Premier League. So not only that, as you say, they're very astute. They don't particularly high press, which is where Sanchez has a problem. So he may be able to get out of jail on that one. But if he does that with a team like that, I can't see any way back for him. He will be dropped for the next game, unless Jorgensen himself comes on and does, something stupid. Um, Another player I want to talk about that has been mentioned is Madueke
So we're on your negatives, right?
at the moment. There's not
Okay.
many. It's just those two, really. A couple of others I will mention in transit, but I wouldn't exactly call them negatives. Madueke, look, Madueke is yet again another player in development. He really is. Just as is Jackson. You can see Jackson, his wrong decision making in front of goal. At one time, he could have passed instead of shooting. He shot. At the other time, he should have shot instead of passing. He passed. Both of which he gave up chances. However, no, the first one with Dunk, he should have shot earlier. That's it. But he delayed and then got his shot blocked. The second one, that affected his confidence. The second one, he should have passed. Um, and no, he should have shot, and then he opted to pass, and it was blocked. But they are developing players. This is the territory we're in. Madueke is extremely immature. We know this. We see his silly little petulances here and there. He's a kid, certainly mentally, he's a kid. He really is. He gets so excited. Oh, I want to be on the goal scoring list as well. I like that attitude because it makes him a player, but it needs to be tempered with maturity to know when to or how to execute his attitude. You know that
He's
that
older than Cole Palmer, right?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Maybe not, if
I
he
think
is,
he
not
is.
by much.
I think he is. Maduka
It,
should
it,
be around. I'll check for you. But
it could
my
be a
point
matter
is,
of
had Cole
months.
Palmer on the day he scored a hat trick, had Cole Palmer been as
It's
selfish as
22, yeah.
Maduka has always been, I don't think he'd get even a two goals on that day. But go ahead, what you were saying,
Yeah, I
Bobby.
mean, look, people are different, aren't they? Some people are more
Yeah,
childish than others, especially in their attitude towards the game. He's highly excitable. He is very self-driven. Now, there are positives in that, and this is why I think Maresca persists with him. Maresca is trying to get him to fulfill his potential, and that's what Maresca is there for. Has he made enough mistakes to be dropped? Um, I'm not sure he has. I'm not sure he has because there he's so unique into what he brings to the table. Um uh um what's the guy we got from Wolves? Please
NATO.
help.
Yeah.
Neto has his own qualities, but he's not quite a Madueke. Madueke is so direct that it's unique. Who's the other guy we've got there? Sanchez is on the other wing. He has his own unique set of qualities. Jao Felix, his own unique set of qualities
Bobby,
as
if you
well.
call him Sanchez
And
once again, I'll find you.
Sancho, I call. And of course, Modric, who is another one that has to be mentioned. He has his own set of qualities. Ultimately, they're all developing. They're all developing, and it's going to take time. I don't see the, I've said this on this platform many a time. I don't see this team being fully integrated till about December. I really don't. What we're doing now is fantastic, but we're still in progress. And even then, in December, we then have to add the mileage of a full season again together. We then have to add the mileage of winning things together. All this build up your repertoire of capability and assimilation amongst yourselves. But it will take us till about December until we can actually function fluently as a team, and the development of the underdeveloped will reach that par that they will take another step up. It happened with Jackson last season. He went up until the new year, where suddenly he took a step up and started putting away his chances. He went really far as the goal scoring was concerned. So we have to be patient. It is what it is, and this is the formula we've chosen. For us to have any expectation of not having these little quirks, I'm just happy that the quirks are minor individual quirks and they're not holistic team quirks where we show the level of inconsistency we had last season, where we'll beat someone 6-0, then go and get thrashed 5-0. I know injury had a lot to do with that, but also the fact that the team was young, not integrated, was a huge part of that inconsistency. We seem to have got rid of that, but there are players in that team that are still developing, and unfortunately, we'll have to see it through.
Yeah, a lot of them. But Bobby, if you can reach Noni Madueke, better tell him he has competition. He's not gonna have it forever to, you can say, make
No,
necessary adjustments to his game. Like, for instance, being a little less selfish. I think that will go a
I
long way
think
because the manager will be paying attention. He
I
will
think
be,
both.
and you can see his teammates on the pitch going like, "Why didn't he pass the ball
I
on those,
think
those
both.
occasions we've mentioned?" And
I think both.
if yeah, go ahead.
I think both Madueke and Modric really will just about have this season to yeah, both Madueke and Cole Palmer are 22 years old. I think it's a matter
Mhm.
of months between them. Cole Palmer is May. I don't know when Madueke is, but I'll check it. I think both he and Modric, and indeed all of them, in that sort of winging position, um, yeah, Madueke is March, Cole Palmer is May. So what? 2 months? I mean, they're the same age. So they're all kids. They're all kids.
But
Just
like you
some
say,
will be
some
more
people
mature than others.
develop at different paces. They're
Yeah,
not the same.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So they will have this season to try and really show their development, because you see, when the likes of Esteval Williams and Andre Pius come, that's more competition. I still believe that both of them will need their developmental stage as well. No matter how talented you are, you've got to get used to playing in the Premier League. And hopefully, we'll be in the Champions League then as well. So, the fact that they will be just that little bit behind in terms of their development and integration may help these two, but it might put them on the bench a bit more often if they don't start to perform. Certainly, Modric has so much work to do. It's unbelievable. He seemed okay against Barrow, but if that's his level, it's not good enough. It's just not good enough. He needs to be more than okay against this sort of opposition. I mean, Brighton gave you spades of space behind. I thought that was his game. That was why he came on. Maresca looked at it and thought, "Oh, I'll have some of that. I'll put Modric in here. That should help his confidence because he's got space he can run into." And he didn't do that. So a little bit disappointing. He needs more time, but yet again, without sounding like a broken record, we're in the development business, and it is credit to Maresca that he's getting the results he's getting as we develop, which is what we want. I'll shut up now.
Jay, sincere apologies to you, but at the same time, that's a way of showing you we don't value you, right?
Did you hear me when I was talking?
Yeah,
Because
yeah, I heard
yeah.
everything. Yeah, my mic
Mhm.
was on mute when I wanted to respond. You ended by
Oh,
saying I'll shut up now. That
Go again,
take
Bobby.
oh,
We didn't hear anything.
all right.
Jay, let's hear your thoughts on the game, your overall take, negatives and positives from you. Let's hear you. Jay, are you there? Dante, can you hold it for me? I'll be back in a few seconds.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, Jay's probably watching the game still. It's 1-1 between Ipswich and Aston Villa, so he's probably upset they equalized. Yeah, Bobby, I agree pretty much with everything he said. Um, Madueke, the only problem is that's his third game in a row. He's been pretty average, pretty bad. 3 games in a row. I don't know if Maresca's going to have patience with that. I think that's enough. Probably 3 games in a row. Really bad form. Uh, let's not forget we got Neto, we've got Sancho who can play on the right. He's played on the right a lot for Dortmund. So we've got Sancho and Neto who can take his place, and I think he's going to lose his place there after this performance because yeah, he was a bit too selfish and just a bit of place confident at all. He wasn't doing the right thing, and it was a game made for him because the we're saying the open spaces. He did find spaces, just didn't come together, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. He's likely to be on the bench, more so for Neto, who really I understand plays more on the right than the left, than we've been using him.
Correct. Yep.
So he may choose to start more with Neto and Sancho. Trouble is, we're playing Forest in the league next, and that is a physical team, and our physicality matters. And Madueke has that. You know, he has enough physicality to be able to hold his own against a team like that. Another thing we need to ask ourselves, I mean, I'm just sort of playing devil's advocate here, is did he really make enough mistakes for for the manager to think he's not worthy of a start? Why do I say this? The only real mistake I saw from him was when he shot instead of passing, and I think at that stage we were what 3-1 up, something like that, or was it even 4-1 up? Yeah, something like that. I can't remember, but
Yep.
you know, I can see that Maresca is trying to develop this kid, trying to get the best out of this kid. Um, will dropping him help? We shall have to wait and see. I
I
remember when Pochettino dropped him, he came back and he was on fire.
Well, that's
So
why I was
maybe,
gonna say
yeah,
can't let them play game after game after game like Pochettino did, because it just doesn't work. Very
doesn't
inconsistent.
get in his
Now we've
head.
got
Yeah,
yeah, we've got proper replacements. We've got Sancho, we've got Neto. We paid 50 million for Neto. It's not cheap.
yeah.
Sanchez, was close to being world class player pretty much. So we've got the options there now that he needs to lose his spot because you can't play 3 games in a row like that. I know what you mean. He didn't really make much mistakes, but he wasn't really involved in the game. And when he did get involved in the game, he wasn't. His head wasn't there. He, like you said, wrong decisions, and he's done that 3 games in a row now. He's had 3 stinkers in a row. So I think I just see the way I see Maresca. I think that's probably enough, and I think he's going to lose his spot. That's just my personal opinion. You can't keep playing them, and that doesn't show. That's not Maresca's philosophy. You get a chance, yeah, but like he keeps saying in every interview, if you don't perform on the field in the game time or in training, you will not play.
Yeah, I mean, he certainly needs to feel the pressure. I'm sure
Exactly.
of
Yeah.
that. So yeah, you could be
Just like
right.
Mudryk. So he let Mudryk
Oh,
play, and he didn't do that. He was next. Gonna bring him on now. Like what you're trying to, like what you said, there was a bit of pace there because they needed to, get back in the game. It was a bit tougher because we did set up. We stayed a bit deeper, so it was a little bit tougher. We changed it a bit more possession, a bit more defensive. Every time we went forward, his instruction was to cut back and pass it back to hold possession. So that's why you didn't see much of Mudryk and much of the players in the second half as much. The instruction was, which I saw Maresca yelling, not to full take players on and lose the ball, lose possession. He was telling them, yeah, turn back and pass it back, keep possession. So we didn't weren't really that much on fire in the second half. It was the coaching, and he probably needed to do that because otherwise we would have been completely open and would have probably conceded more goals. So yeah, that's the reasoning behind that from what I saw.
our next game
Yeah,
is
it looks.
Genk.
Yeah, go ahead, Bobby.
Our next game is it Genk? Gent? Are we home or
Ghent,
away?
yeah,
Are we
I
home
think
or
we're
away?
home.
Okay.
Double check. Can't remember.
One second.
I
One
know.
second.
Yeah,
Let me
we're
check.
home. Yeah, we're home. We're home.
Because
We're home.
who starts that will be such a pointer to who is going to use against Forest.
Yeah, it will tell us obviously. But we are at home, so it'll probably be. It'll be. He's going to change pretty much the whole 11 almost. I guarantee you that. So, especially because we won as well, so he will change it. But we're still going to have a strong team, obviously, against Get. So it won't really factor that much, especially at home.
Yeah, Dante. Given this comment on the screen, let's talk about this. The absence of Tosin, for me, it was clear we missed him. As the way I've argued that is that we do need his calm presence in that defensive line, and I've talked about a billion
Yeah.
times how the pairing of Fafana and Colwell isn't bad, but whenever we're under pressure, it's consistent pressure. They seem to you see a bit of shaky moments here and then. But if Tosin is on the pitch, I think he usually he handles it calmly, knows when to slow down a bit, knows how to, you can say, calm the nerves, for lack of a more specific term. But when it's Fofana and Colwell, probably lack of maturity or lack of experience on their path, every time, especially if we concede, it gets worse. Um, did we miss Tosin in that game, in our backline in that game?
Yeah, look, you said it. I've said it. We need that cool head at the back. The problem is with Fafana, he's an aggressive player. That's always been that. He's gonna be that. He's not gonna change. He goes, he dribbles, he holds the ball, he'll go forward, he'll go after tackles, he'll step out of the line. That's his game. That's what he does. That's what made him what he was when he was pretty much close to becoming a world class player. Yeah, when we signed him for that big fee, um, that's his game. But Colwell likes to risk as well. He steps up as well, and then when you've got two players like that, there, it's not the best chemistry. You need one that's like Tosin, like you say, calm, collected, sits back, watches the play, and reads the play. The problem with Colwell and Fofana, they both want to do almost the same thing. So hence, one steps out, the other one's out of position, and then the balance completely goes out of whack, and the opposition get open spaces. And we saw that against Brighton. Brighton had quite a few really good chances, and it was quite easy for them. And they were in our half because both of them, like you said, they're a bit. Well, it's not. They're pretty experienced. They're not that immature anymore. They're quite experienced, even though they're young. It's just the big tackle, and they step out of the line. They want to dribble forward. If we got the ball, they'll especially Fofana. That's his game. That's his role. But when you have
Yeah,
two
and
players, it
even
doesn't really work
even
that well, and
even
we've seen that.
even in days that you'd say they're having a good game, once we're under consistent pressure, you see them everywhere.
Yeah,
Confusion reigns. No
correct.
proper
Yeah, yeah.
coordination. But go ahead.
No, because it's also, I think, how they communicate with each other as well. That's another thing. Tosin is more mature. Obviously, The big guy is quite tall. He's quite physical. He's a bit more commanding, and he talks a lot. You see, Fofana and Colwell, they're more they don't really yell as much. They don't talk as much together. They just do the thing. They do the game. Where Tosin is completely everyone and telling him where to go, what to do, talking to everyone. So that is missed, and that's your experienced centre back that you really need in a team. You need one of those, and really lets them know where to go, when to quickly run back, when to that. And yeah, unfortunately, Fofana is not that type. He'll always be aggressive. He's an aggressive defender and aggressive ball carrier. Colwell is a bit more, like you said, a bit more nervous when he's got the ball at his feet. He's not such a technical player, so gets a bit more nervous. But he likes to run forward too, even though he's not his game. But he likes to, and he likes to come out and be aggressive and tackle as well. Well, Tosin, you don't see that. He sits back, chooses the right moment. If a defender's out of position, he'll cover, and he'll tackle when he needs to tackle. He doesn't just go in first time, go hard and aggressive. So yeah, 100% agree. We
And he
need Tosin.
doesn't just clear for the sake of clearing.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, Bobby, you want to chime in on that? And anytime, whenever you're ready, Jay, you
Yeah,
can come in. It looks like you're busy. Go ahead, Bobby.
yeah. Um, Tosin, that's such a conundrum, isn't it? He does look a leader. He does look to have a calm head. He makes Colwell certainly play a lot better
Mm-hmm.
when they're
Mm-hmm.
together.
Mm-hmm.
I I'm not sure yet why he isn't playing ahead of Wesley. I don't know whether Maresca thinks Wesley needs to be played back into full match fitness
That and
and
75
alertness.
million reasons, Bobby.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just sort of throwing it out there. You know, it's very difficult to make some of these decisions, and you need to be cautious and pragmatic in the decision making process when you have such a healthy uh, competitive squad. Um, Wesley, in terms of his longevity at the club, has, if you want to use the word seniority, because he's been at the club now, this is his third season, and Tosin has just come here. Now, that's got nothing to do with nothing really, but it's a consideration when you're dealing with fine margins. Another thing is that a team like Brighton, his tactics clearly was to exploit the space in behind. Did he think that Fofana is just that little bit more mobile? I don't know, but there is a reason why he is in the Premier League, at least, playing him ahead of Tosin. It's hard to say. It really is hard to say. I'm with everyone. I think Tosin has done enough to show that he does deserve to start. Is that an indictment to Fofana?
No, not at all.
No, that's the thing. You see, this is where the big decisions have to be made because
Not just Fofana,
these
Bobby,
are
Colwell as well.
Colwell. Well, Colwell is on the left side, so he's already benching Badiashile, who, to be fair to him, in recent times hasn't done anything wrong either in the games he's been playing. But personally, I do prefer Colwell to Badiashile
Yeah.
marginally because Colwell has less of a bozo moment in him.
Yeah, well,
But
I'm
it's
just saying that
marginal.
Tosin can play that left centre back. The idea that you need a left-footed player there is not when you have both. When you can play with both your feet, it doesn't matter. You can play left centre back easy.
Yet
Fofana's good on his left, on his right. He can play both. Tosin's good on his left foot and his right foot. He can play both those positions.
Yet again, you know, these are players that want to feel their importance to the side. And so, as a manager, you have to manage it intelligently. You know, we have a formidable squad if it all goes right, but it needs to be managed well. It needs to be, you have to have the player management skills of someone like an Angelotti. you give him a Galacticos and he will keep everybody ticking over and happy. And the best way to do that is by winning. The more you win, the more they are prepared to be satisfied with their rotational positions. And this is what Maresca has to do. It's a very, very, very fine line. It's a very difficult thing to do. But, Colwell has a big ego. He likes to feel he's the man. Um, I think the same with Wesley, maybe slightly less so, but he likes to feel he's important as well. As does Tosin. I'm surprised. I believe, and as does Badiashile. They are going to all have to accept that there's going to be a measure of rotation in their performance, in their appearances. Some will be less rotated than others, but some will be more in the cups. And it's up to them, those that are in the cups, to make sure that we get through in the cups, because they will be the ones lifting silverware more often than those playing in the league, if you know what I'm saying. So it's a management thing. It really is. There's little right or wrong in this answer. But just like the both of you, I see a lot in Tosin. I see him really as that guy, but I understand the politics as to why he's not yet, at least at this point in time, that guy.
Here's the thing, politics indeed. But what I'm going to say this before I move on from that, except if Jay is close to his desk and wants to speak on maybe his device, having Tosin and what's his name, having Colwell and Fafana on the pitch in our back line, it's just like having two kids, two good kids. You say, well behaved kids, but if something goes wrong, who who does what needs to be done to save the situation. Whereas with Tosin, it's like one kid, one adult in the room. Then you have rest of mind wherever you are. That yeah, you're fine there. But like you said, it may well be politics. Or maybe just that this manager taking his time to balance things out. I think irrespective of who starts in the Premier League, rotation will be key to us playing throughout the season with us. Having a lot of players get injured and be out for a while. So let's see what the manager does. But Tosin has proven that yeah, he needs to be part of that starting 11 in the Premier League, to be more specific, where things are always, you can say, you play against teams that play high octane football. That sometimes the best way to deal with them would be to get them to run a lot, which means you need a cool-headed player, good on the ball, doesn't panic under pressure, and Tosin is that guy. But let's see what the manager does. Wickler Barris is saying, apart from being selfish, Madueke was dangerous on the flanks. We know that. The only point is that you said that selfishness could be the difference, and it could be the difference between us losing or winning a game. Yeah. Consistently threatening Brighton's high line and winning the free kick that led to Palmer completing his hat trick. He also tracks back. Yeah, we agree. Of late, he started to track back, does better than usual than he's done in the past in terms of tracking back and helping defensively. But here's the thing: that selfishness that everybody that has caused actually a fight between Chelsea fans and X could be the difference between being seen as a lead player or vice versa. Yeah, the slight things like that. Cole Palmer, look at him. I know maybe Madueke tomorrow changes and becomes better, because I'm quite sure he's paying attention to what people are saying out there, or even the manager will be speaking to him or his personal trainer. Look, you need to find your teammate in certain situations. If you're not the better positioned player, find the better positioned teammate, pass the ball to him to make it easier for your team to score, not you. It doesn't have to be you. Cole Palmer, as many goals as he scores, as capable as he is in terms of finishing, in most cases, he finds his teammates. You can't look at him and say overall he's selfish. No. Overall, he's a selfless player. Every now and then, if Madueke's case is that every now and then he shows selfishness, then it's not a problem. But if in every game there must be one moment or the other where he'd be better at squaring the ball to his teammate and he decides to shoot, then yeah, overall he's selfish and that's an issue from my opinion. But I get where Bobby is coming from. He's still developing, which simply implies that chances are tomorrow he changes that aspect of his game and boom, he's a complete player. Anything else here? Let's see what else you have there. Jay, let me know when you're back. It looks like am I frozen here? I'm not sure. Um, oh gosh, I hate it when this happens. Okay, there you go. I think we're
Oh,
free now. Let's see what else we have. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes to go along with Colwell. Miss Clarence led to Brighton's first goal, and he seemed uncomfortable at times, particularly when dealing with Brighton's press and attack. The two of them. And Fofana, I think it was Bobby that said that, or was it Dante? Fofana sometimes it just overdoes it. He overcomplicates things in most cases. Sometimes when just keep it simple, just release the ball. You're not a number 9, and he dribbles unnecessarily, and that could sometimes lead to us conceding. Colwell is very shaky too. Has no real presence. Only when we are under constant pressure. But if there's space for him to relax, take his time, do whatever he want to do, he does well. But he's improved significantly. Let's not take away that from him. Badashile is surplus to requirement. You could say you don't say that. Then what if you were saying the same thing about Kukurea? In Badashile's case, it's not like we don't know what he's capable of doing. So if you understand football, you'd know that it's form. It's to be more specific, confidence. Yeah. And the last game he played, he was excellent, though. He did well. My cardiologist just sent me the report, and I mean, and I am all good after that Sanchez, after that Sanchez horror. What does the panel think of playing with 3 at the back? I don't think we need that now. I'll hand over to you. I'll be back in about 5 minutes. Let me help the wife with something, or maybe less.
Yeah,
Please, if
sure.
you're
No
still there.
problem.
I know
No
you
problem.
have your boy to take care of. If that's the case, please pardon me. I'll be
No, I'm
back
good.
as soon
I'm
as
good.
possible.
I'm
All
all
right,
good.
all right.
He's sound asleep, thank God. So that's good. He's sleeping. Um, yeah, look, Khan, they're asking what do we think about playing 3 at the back? Will it work? So yeah, we do play with 3 at the back, obviously, when in possession. When we're out of possession, it's Cucurella slots back in, or whoever's inverting slots back in there. So it's 4 at the back. So just depends what you mean by that. But look, it's been working so far, and 3 at the back gives us that opportunity to invert one of the left back, right back into midfield and help that midfield where you need that extra help in midfield when you've got that many attacking players on the field and the way we like to play. So it's very important. I think it's great. I think if we did that last season a lot more, that would have helped quite a lot as well. But yeah, I think it's working, and I think it will work. Once we get the right partnership at the back, this it's still early in the season. There's still a lot to go, but I think it's working and it will work. That's just my opinion. Bobby, do you want to chime in on that? Jay, if you're there.
yeah, I'm there. I just arrived. Uh,
Cardiologist
regarding
report
the,
came in.
yep, all good. I was worried about it. I thought I would have a stroke sooner. Uh, Playing at 3 at the back, I think Maresca is quite trusted with what what he plays. That doesn't seem a history where he actually tried this thing, and it's not a easy thing, and not like a easy pick for managers to just shift between this style. Of course, as you talked, in position and out of position, the things can matter, but I think uh, the style that Maresca wants to play, that is the possession-based style. I don't think 3 at the back is suited to it particularly, and I think the midfield and even the forward lines, I think there is a lot to be changed if we are even going to think of shifting to that style. So, and why change things when they are working fine? I mean, right? When
Yeah.
it's not
Sorry,
broken,
did
you
you
don't
say?
really
Sorry,
change
Jay.
anything.
Did you say
Yeah.
playing 3 at the back doesn't suit a possession style system? Is that what you said? Sorry, I could understand.
Yeah, I just said this, and it's not like I have no knowledge about this thing. I'm not aware about 3 at the back style or coaches that do play that, and it is in coordinates with the possession based style. there isn't many examples of that, and hence I will think that is a rarity to find.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I disagree a little bit. I think, yeah, look, Man City do the same kind of thing, really, to be honest. They further back
Back three?
in possession. A lot of the big teams do that these days. You can, because it does help the midfield having that extra midfielder that inverts into the midfield. So it actually should help possession more. I think we're not seeing that from us. It's just because we are still a young team and still learning the system from a complete different system. We're still learning that system, and it will get better with time. Maresca said that in his and his interviews that when we're up and we're winning like 3-1, 2-1, 2-0, whatever, he's still not happy with how we're keeping possession, and we're not passing it around how we should be. But in theory, that extra midfielder and three at the back with that midfielder and that forward line with the 2 8s, that should help possession a lot in theory. And as you can see, Man City, they hold possession very well. So once you've got the personnel and the right attitude and the right, everyone knows each
But
other
do
how they
Man City
play.
really play the back three?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's not the traditional back three, right? I think they also favors it in possession. I think we can see it a style, but I don't think they start it as a back three. The Antonio Conte type of back three, if you want to.
Oh, that's with wing. Yeah, we're talking about wing backs. When you have
Yeah,
wing
the wing
backs,
back
that's a
system.
little bit too curl as well with the wing backs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little bit different. That's different style. But
Mm.
even that's not real possession either, to be honest, because the wing
Yeah.
backs bomb forward and there's a lot of
Hmm.
space. So you're not going to have that much possession. But with this, because you've got the three at the back, and you don't just have three, you have three ball playing defenders that can hold possession and pass the ball well. That's the key to it as well, obviously. And then we've got like
Yeah.
an Enzo in the DM, Caicedo, or when in position, when you invert like Cucurella, which he's actually quite good. People don't give him much credit, but he's actually pretty good in possession. He's not bad. He gets rid of the ball very quickly and moves it on, and that's what you want. You don't want to hold on to it, to have two players that hold on too much. So I think it works, in my opinion. I think it's a good system for possession based. I just don't think we're there yet as a team, like the coherence and just knowing the system inside out, and we haven't played that long together. So yeah, I think once you'll see a lot more possession and a lot. Even in Brighton, well, in the first half against Brighton, how much possession did we have? Do you remember at all?
I think overall, I remember the facts at the end, and maybe even at the halftime. I think we were not holding it. I think it was 60-40 or even lower to that
Correct.
in the
Yeah, I
second
think we
half.
had
So we are not
38%,
really holding it.
38% possession only in that first half. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
which is surprising,
yeah,
right?
that's just because how the game went, and I
Mm.
could see Maresca on the sideline saying when we went 3-1 up to try to
Mm.
hold possession more. And this is the conundrum he's got at the moment. It's this We want to go more and attack more and play more and go hard more, but then you leave a lot of
Mm.
space and you give the opposition the ball too much. He wants to take that away, and he wants us to keep that possession so the opposition doesn't have that chance. And we saw that more in the second half. We had more, the possession a bit more, and we nullified them in a way. He got him in at halftime, and like I was telling
Yeah.
Bobby earlier, Mudryk came on because he was saying Mudryk came on and he wasn't that effective in that. Yeah, because
Mm.
as soon as Mudryk made a run forward, he had to quickly turn back and pass back and hold possession. That was instructions from the coaching. He wanted us to keep the ball, just see timeout, play around more. When it opens up a bit more, go for it, but sit a bit more and keep the position a bit more. And we did see that, and that's exactly what happened. And
Right,
yeah,
and I think we need to really, watch the game as well, rather than looking at the paper, because, in theory, it's always, it will be a scenario where a team which is like chasing the game will try their best in the last 10, 15 minutes, holding all the position, and the team which is leading comfortably
yes,
will allow them to kind of attack. So the stats
yeah.
will be kind of distorted at the end.
Yeah, of course, the stats are distorted 100%. But yeah, okay, so let's move on from there. Bobby, have you come back at all? Or Nope, Bobby's still not there. That's fine. We'll move on. We'll read some more comments from the chat. Uh, let's see where we're up, Khan, as well. So, Palmer, any other questions there? Let's have a look. Actually, we didn't get your opinion on Jay because he didn't come in earlier. Do you have anything else to add to it? Like, what did you see the more negatives and the positives for how we played in this game?
Um, I don't want to differentiate it in the category of positive or negative, and I think most of it was positive. There isn't much to factuate, but
Mhm.
I think there is a conversation among the Tosin and Fofana, the centre
Yep.
back who should play or who shouldn't. I think there is a conversation going on in that, and look, even I favor Tosin with the little things that I've seen from him in the two matches. It looks like he's more calm, he's more in control of the game, and it just reflects that he holds that Premier League experience, and he has that. Uh, Hope I'm using the right term, but he holds that aura, right? It reflects in his game.
Yep.
But I want to trust the manager. I think what he's trying to do, and same can be the case with Madueke as well. You want most of us and a lot of people demanded that Madueke should be dropped and Neto could be slogged in and he should start. And the same is the situation with Tosin and Fofana.
Mm.
Fofana not having the greatest of game uh, when you compare it with Levi Colwill, and Tosin just performed really well. But the coach wants to build the confidence. He wants to build a relationship among the back line, and I think he sees a future in that aspect and wants to entrust his whole backing towards these two guys. And I think confidence does play a big role in improving the overall play of these young players. And I think that's the factor that he don't want to really tickle a lot. And I think it will go the same way for Sanchez as well. A lot of people are demanding him to be dropped. I'm not a fan of Sanchez at all, but I think Maresca will continue to trust him because his overall thing that I could understand is that he wants to build something. He wants to,
Yep.
uh, build 11 players, and even through the little, hard times or where they mess up somewhere, I think he will still back them. And these are the moments how you build a really strong starting 11, which you can trust in the big matches against the bigger teams or even in the cup finals or in the later stages. And I think I trust it. I totally trust this theory if it's to be true.
Yeah, I do as well. I trust Maresca. I like the way he does. The only thing with the Madueke thing, he's had three bad games in a row. That's the only thing. And I think Maresca's the type of coach that gives you chances, but only up to a certain point, and then he makes the change. We saw that when Mudryk, he started Mudryk for like 2 or 3 games in a row, and then no more. He just wasn't doing it, so he lost that spot. So I just see it, just his style. Even looking at Leicester back, he kind of did the same. A little bit of other players there as well. If they didn't
Mm.
perform for a little run, like 3 games, then he kind of moved them on. With Sanchez,
Uh,
I agree. Look, he's made two horrible mistakes, cost us 2 goals. I think he'll stick with him, have that confidence in him. But he's on thin ice. He does it again, I think he's gonna get replaced.
Regarding Madueke, do you think that Neto has done enough or is doing enough to actually replace him? Because GA wise,
Yep.
it's not like he's producing a lot, right? So isn't it the fact that Madueke still has that backing from the hat trick that is still playing a role? And Neto does a
Yeah.
lot of other things on the pitch, but it's not like showing in his GA tally.
Yeah, well, I looked at him quite closely. He's doing some things right, some things wrong, but it's just been doing now 3 games in a row. It's been pretty bad in my opinion, and I think Neto is a better player than Madueke. You've seen that at Wolves. He's a very good player. We paid that much money for him for a reason. He's a very good player. A lot of other teams wanted him as well. Sancho as well. I think Sancho is a better player than Madueke. He's he's got
You
more
could say,
experience.
here's the language I used today. I talked about Sancho. He's a more productive dribbler
Yeah,
than
he's
Madueke. I think
smarter. He's got a higher
yeah, he
IQ.
comes across as the more intelligent of the two players.
Correct. So
And he doesn't have that selfishness,
yeah,
doesn't dribble unnecessarily, only dribbles when need be to make
to take
things
his man on, to
work for
take
the
his man
team.
on.
And when
Yeah,
that
he'll
isn't
always
possible,
cut
he
it across.
releases the ball like this. Go ahead, what you were saying. Sorry.
Exactly, coach. Yeah, it's good you're back there. Yeah, look, Sancho takes his man on, does the fancy dribbles, but then he always cuts it back or puts it across the box. If it's really open, he'll shoot, but otherwise, he gets a lot of Dortmund quite a lot when I see him. He gets a lot of assists
Yeah.
because he does that. He's much more intelligent, and he's got all the attributes that pretty much Madueke, but he's got the intelligence, he's got the IQ. Just has that on Madueke at the moment,
You could argue
and
Madueke is just lucky. Sancho probably, as the manager has
well, he
said
came late,
openly,
coach.
Sancho is the left
Yeah,
wing,
look,
doesn't
he came
consider
very
him right
late.
wing.
Yeah, and he came very late. So, but I think, in my opinion, my personal opinion, I think that's his time is probably up now. Having that third game in a row that he didn't do well, and I can see Neto starting over him, and I can see Sancho, if not starting over him, one or the other.
Yeah, I think Jay did say something about Neto. Neto isn't quite there, and if you've been paying attention, the 2 games he started for us, he didn't finish. Maybe, probably, most definitely down to the fact that he's not, you can say, properly at the moment. He's not properly adapted to the way the manager approaches the game. But
And coach, he
eventually,
goes at it at 1,000,000%. He runs so hard and back and forth. He goes so hard that he tires himself out very quickly. I've seen that. He needs to control that much better.
Yeah. So eventually, maybe it becomes a case of the manager rotating. It will only be a case of the manager rotating if Madueke improves. Otherwise, it will be a case of Madueke becoming a backup. I hate to use that word, but I think to effectively communicate, I think it makes sense. If Madueke performs at the highest level, then we have 2 excellent players that plays on the right hand side, and the manager will now rotate. But if Madueke doesn't, then he will become Nato's backup eventually. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dante. You tell show now.
No, that's it. Exactly. You said. Yeah, I agree. If potential, like I said, he did a lot of his best work as well at Dortmund. He can play that right, no problem. He's very good at it. So we've got a lot of competition for that right. Don't forget, Palmer can play there because if you play Felix,
yeah, exactly,
play Palmer at that right. So look, yeah. So that right is very competitive. It's good. We've got improve. His form goes down. He's got 2-3 games in a row that hasn't done anything. You need to make that change. That's what a coach does. That he needs to do that for the team, for the benefit of Chelsea. You have to do that because when you've got the options to replace, you have to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll come back to talking about Palmer's performance on that day. Let me catch up with what we have in the chat. Let's see. Jay, finally, where did you hide? Did you step away from your desk or did you lose your phone? Here's a fun fact. Chelsea have registered more goals, 15, and more big chances created, 24 in total, than any other club in the Premier League. Yep, we've been doing well. My gosh, our goal difference, if you look at it, is not. I think last season we weren't anything close to that. We weren't close to that. We're winning the league next season. We are given Arsenal competition. Woohoo! Thai guys in the house. Thai guy, I haven't seen in a while. I do hope you're doing well. Shanks is in the house too. And Wycliffe Barish is saying that our defenders showed clear signs that he needed significant improvement during preseason. We've seen some progress, but there's still considerable amount of work left to do. Histon, I don't think we need to bring in another defender. We still have Anselmina, who will join us in 2025. Badishil is still there. I still think he will come good. Maybe the manager's working on it right now. And chances are, you never know. The guy I thought probably will be sold last chance window in this to see he could stay. I don't know what's going to happen, but I don't think it makes sense for us to sign another defender. We have enough numbers there. For finally starting to recover, I think that's that's the correct language to use in his case. Refreshing thing about Maresca is he isn't stubbornly dogmatic that's Dante's uncle. Last evening, he kind of started with inviting the pressure from Brighton and play fast counters. Yeah. And I think it's important here. Just give me 1 second. I'll come back to that. We are too over-reliant on Palmer. No, that's not the case. That's not the case. The other game, it was Madueke that scored 3 goals. The other game, Palmer was on the pitch for 90 minutes, couldn't do anything, and Kunku came in and scored. We have a team. And it wasn't like the 4 goals he scored were all individual goals. Yeah, I get it. The free kick, I don't know how you categorize dead ball situation. Somebody else won the free kick. Somebody else created 2 chances for him. If that makes sense. No, we're not too reliant on him. And chances are, if he wasn't on the pitch, other players will step up.
It's just the position he plays as well. He's going to be in possession a lot, and he's playing that taking
Yeah,
number 10, 8 role. He's the main man. So
yeah, exactly. No one is going anywhere. This team is about rotation, week in and week out. No one is permanent. Everyone plays on merit. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's Enzo Maresca for you. And I do love the guy. Okay, Bobby. Thank you for letting us know that you're back. Let's talk about this, Dante. Let's start with Jay before he leaves his decks and goes somewhere we don't know. Let's talk about this manager. We realized that even before he said something to that effect in a post game show, that he doesn't use a particular approach. It's dynamic. How we play depends on the opposition. He actually went to the extent of mentioning how differently we played in certain games, even on and off the ball. I think he has a lot up his sleeves, and the that's a serious advantage to us because you don't know how he's going to play. I think it was Bournemouth manager that said something to the effect of Chelsea in Chelsea's case that he's not too sure how we're going to play on that day. And I've also talked about this how Leicester players are saying he's always tweaking things. Even during international breaks, he's trying to be innovative in terms of approach, how what we're going to do to stifle the opposition and let them not enjoy the game so much and something like that. I think I'm happy he's not bent on using playing one particular way. He's open to tweaking things just to start to make it difficult for the opposition. More importantly, get a result, and he's been working. Jay, let's hear you, and you can also talk about the sort of mentality we saw yesterday when we went a goal down. Even as a fan, I wasn't concerned, probably because subconsciously what we're seeing is you could say regenerating the confidence we had in our team a few years ago. But let's hear you, Jay.
Yeah, I think we have discussed. I think I particularly discussed it with you, coach, about about the dynamics that Enzo Maresca brings on the table. There
Hmm.
was this narrative, of course, before the start of the season when he was arriving from Leicester that is very one-sided and there isn't many options for him in his mind. If the opponents, which will they will sooner find him out, there isn't much he will do, and we will suffer as a result of that. But it has been totally opposite case. Contrary to all those things that I've heard, I've seen on multiple occasions that this guy is very open to changes, and whether it's approaching games differently one by one, or even in the inside the game, changing it before halftime and after halftime, you see different approaches. And yesterday there was a case which a lot of guys mentioned, even Maresca said it that. They were not expecting Ipswich to, sorry, not Ipswich, Brighton to be the way that they are, and sooner they realized about how they are approaching the game. They changed it and they exploited the high line and the space that Brighton was offering, and we were rightly back in the match. And barring the two mistakes by Sanchez, I don't think the 4-2 scoreline gives you an idea that this match was very much open, and like Brighton had some stake in it, but we all know the two goals how it came, and for me it's a case that we totally dominated that game, and we were happy to allow them to have the possession, and I think this speaks a lot of volume about this coach, that he's not afraid to even go down or to lose some of the characteristics that he has been mentioned on paper, that being holding the possession. He was not really bothered about it because there are other factors that contribute to you being holding a grip on the match. And I am really impressed by this guy, and I'm sure with more matches to come, we are going to be more praiseful of him. So I'm just waiting and enjoying the time, and looks like we have finally hit a lottery with a manager or a coach.
Can you talk about the mentality, Jay? The fact that we went to go down early in the game. Uh
Uh,
the players didn't. It didn't seem as if we were go down. It just seemed as if the game was just started. Even throughout the whole game, I think we maintained nearly the same pace, the same attitude. Then um I think it's instilling a strong mentality in the players. It doesn't matter if we concede first or not. But under our X, not to mention his name or their names, because we have four X's. It's, but his thing, we concede and that's it. But let's hear you, Jay. Do you see anything mentality wise that gives you confidence that yeah, there's this team, there's something special, yeah, brewing there?
Obviously, there are a lot of things that that gives you an idea that the mindset and the mentality of both the coach and the rest of the players is on a really high level. Uh, speaking about the result of yesterday, I think I saw a big account, a Chelsea Twitter account that was saying that we must score within the first 20 or 25 minutes, otherwise there is big trouble coming. And forget about scoring first. We went one goal down, and yet we were easily, in control of the game and ended up getting a victory at 4-2, which speaks a lot about the coach and the players. You know how, in particular individuals, how these players speak about the coach, how they trust him, how they mark his words with dignity. I think it comes from a fact that behind the scenes there is a lot, positive stuff that is going on
There's
and building
harmony,
among
there's
themselves.
unity, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
This, yeah.
exactly. And the Carabao game, I want to mention it. I think I mentioned it 2 or 3 times with you as well, and even on Mitchie's channel that the scene that we saw after the Carabao game, that the senior players, even in their casual outfits, were there present after the match and congratulating the young guys, the Tariq George, Josh Chimpong, and even the ones who are not getting the opportunities. They were all there on the pitch, and it seems such a happy environment, and you can maybe just slide this thing as not being important, but in my personal opinion, in my eyes, I think these are the small things that matter a lot, and eventually if you collectively see all those stuff, you will see results on the pitch, and that is why what we are seeing under Pochettino. I know these young guy also trusted him, but as a coach, you need to reflect it on your player. We saw it how it was a pattern that whenever we even when we are when we are ahead with one goal lead, after the second half it totally gets destroyed, and there was no really effort or plan to come back, and we were just going with the flow, and that if that's the outlook from the coach, then your players, which are young in profile, are not really going to do much, and that is what they are going to learn from it, and that is what their body language is going to show. And it seems the total opposite right now with Enzo Maresca. I know it's a little early to speak, but I think the signs are really positive, and we can predict a future just based on on those signs that that the coming time is really going to be good for this young squad.
He will, and here's something that my over again, something you said that makes sense. The demeanor of the leader reflects off of the followers. I think it's simple logic, really. And RX doesn't seem as if it doesn't even when we're doing well, it doesn't come across as if he knew what he was doing at the time. But that's by the way, I don't think it makes sense to keep mentioning his name. But unfortunately, we're still at the stage where sometimes we'd have no option than to mention his name. Palmer takes his chances perfectly. Doesn't mean we're dependent on him. All attacking players are contributing. Yep, yep. I don't think we're dependent. We're not Kopama FC anymore. Yeah, but he's still one of our best players. We cannot deny that. I think the coaching panel that Maresca is not using even 20 to 30% of his tactical skill set as a coach. He's just doing the basics right now. I will be delighted seeing him use his real thing versus a top two teams. Wow, that what movie comes to mind? I can't. Well, okay, let me just move on from that and to make. Ooh, that's in the house. Big up to you too, brother. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular morning. And yes, people, Tabejo, yeah, a good person. So yeah, he has every right to always share the link to his YouTube channel. Go check it out. Be sure to subscribe. Let's help him get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. He's my bro right there. More likes, people. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. 26 likes. We can do a lot better than that. We've been streaming for 1 hour, 39 minutes. So we deserve more likes here. Kindly go check out his YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. Stop talking about our ex. Well, it's difficult to move on when Listen, when when our current person, maybe manager, does a lot so well that you'd have no option than to draw contrast with how we did under our ex. Unfortunately, that let's come to you. I'll let Bobby be the last person to speak on this particular subject. The manager's how he's not bent on using a particular approach. I think that was the question that Jay
Yeah,
did answer. One more thing, what was it again that Jay answered? But let's hear you,
mentality.
Dante. You've been listening,
Yep. Look,
and when you're done, please pass the question to Bobby.
Bobby, no problem. Look, at Leicester, he did do quite the same, but this is also what he had to work with. He used the players he had to work with, and it's a big difference from Leicester in the Championship to Chelsea. A couple of players he had to work with.
And
He
just
kept to
quickly,
what he.
once we're done with this topic, we're gonna go back to discussing whether we're still Palmer FC, since a lot of people are saying
Mhm.
that. But go ahead, what you're saying right now.
No problem. Yeah, look, he did change it eventually. He did change it. He At the end of the season, he got a few injuries, suspensions, so he had to change it forcibly. Um, so he changed it, but mostly he didn't change it because he was successful. It was working. With the last sort of 10, 15 games to go in the season for Leicester, they were up by a lot of points. They were leading comfortably, so it was working. So he didn't really need to change to be more flexible when you're winning every game. Then he got some injuries, some suspensions, and they struggled a bit. He had to change it up because that formation and that style did not work with a lot of the players that weren't really first team regulars. So he didn't have the quality to bring in and play that system anymore.
And
So he did
I'm
change it
just
at
going to
the end.
say this quickly. It just also doesn't make sense when you hear people argue that he nearly bottled the championship. Did he lose it? No, he won it, and he
He still
did this
won it.
job earlier in the earlier stages of the season. Won enough points that he had so much cushion in terms of points that it was difficult
Correct.
for him to lose it. But go ahead. Sorry.
Exactly. They did lose a bit of a lead because, like I said, they started getting injuries and they got suspensions, and he just didn't have the depth to cover the style he plays. He's still stuck with it a little bit, and that's where the criticism comes from a lot of the fan base from Leicester, because he's still stuck with that where he didn't have those players, and they did struggle a bit. But then a couple of players came back. Uh, it was a quality thing at Leicester. He didn't have the quality to play his system, and he's still stuck to it because it was so good. But yeah, in the end, it still worked. They won the championship, didn't bottle nothing. So look, it still works. So it's fine. On the man, he loves. I've seen interviews with him saying that you're required to be at every game, and you have to be there dressed. You have to be there after with the players on the pitch to be there to get to bring that togetherness with the squad. So he's imposing those rules on the players that they need to be at every game, even if they're not selected, not playing, they're not in the squad. If they're in the CFC squad and they're not available, they still have to be there every single game. They got to be on the touchline after the game. He's imposing these rules, and that's because of togetherness. And obviously, it is a young team; they're all very good friends as well. So yeah, he's imposing that, which is good to see. That's even if it doesn't really impose that. I think it's still there anyway because they're such, like I said, they're such good friends off the pitch anyway, most of them. But he's just adding that extra. He wants that connection with the fans as well. That's what I'm seeing more. He wants that togetherness so the fans see it and the fans appreciate it more. Because I think, like I said, the players already have that. But once the fans see that, and especially for the home games, like I was saying, they need to get their act together at home and really support the team. And that just helps when you see all the team coming on the sideline and, greeting all the players and high-fiving them. They're all there. The whole squad is there. The whole 26 players. They're all there, even if they're not playing or they're not involved on match day.
You're tapping in on Jay, right?
Yeah, so I'm going on Jay's point because he said he sees that. Yeah, that's a Maresca initiative. He's made that a rule for that to happen. Once that, trying to get the fans back on track and just to see how together, how talented and how together this squad really is. So he's talked about this, so that's why I just bring it up. So yeah, it's great to see a lot after the games. It helps them get out on the field, say hello to the supporters more, and just be involved a lot more. Uh, direct. He was straight down the tunnel and gone, and players, one or two stuck around. Most of them went back in the tunnel, and that's it. Nothing much. It wasn't the same. Maybe they went to the barbecues after, but not with the fans at the stadium. So he's really pushing that. I've seen that. He's really pushing that to create that environment and that culture, and that leads to success. Just like Jay said, when you do that.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. You can hand over to Bobby. Bobby, if you're there, Dante, you can ask him
I
the
was just
question
about
if
to,
you.
coach. I was about to hand to Bobby, and he cut in. Unbelievable.
Yeah, always. Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead, Bobby. Are you there?
Yeah, I just got back. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we
We
can hear
got
you
you.
crystal clear.
Yeah, I mean, two quick things before I get onto the manager. Are we Palmer FC?
Yeah, if you want to start from
No,
there, go ahead. That's fine. Are we still Copama
Look,
FC? I think that's the way to phrase it. Did we lose Bobby?
oh gosh, sorry, I muted
I can't
myself
hear him
in
at
error.
all. So I don't know
Can you
if you
hear
guys
me?
can.
Can you
We
hear me?
can hear you.
Now I can. Yep, there he is.
Okay, now,
Stop muting Bobby, coach. Stop muting him when he starts.
no, I did it myself by mistake. Um,
Boo.
listen, it's very unfair to the team to say things like that. You know, was Barcelona Messi FC? Well, yes and no. Was Napoli that won the league when Maradona was there, and indeed the entire Argentine um, um, team, were they Maradona FC? Look, sometimes when you have these exceptional talents, they add something to your team that nobody else, maybe in world football, can. It just so happens to be that they're with your team. It doesn't mean to say that the other players are ineffective or not capable. And in fact, it helps with the danger of your team to have that player as well as others. I think that's where we are. The only thing kind of slowing us down a little bit in terms of the others is that we have developing players still there. You know, your Maduekes, your Jacksons, they're all still developing, even to some extent. Neto, Jao Felix ish. You know, the only player that we have in that forward line that is fully established is Nkunku. Even Palmer himself, to some extent, is developing. And my goodness me, what a player he will be by the time he gets to about the age of 27, 27, 28. My God. So, you know, we are not Palmer FC, but boy, are we glad he's with us. The manager, what I like about Maresca is he has ridden the wave of those that say, oh, he plays this, he plays that, oh, you have to play Maresca ball before you can do a Maresca thing. And I think right now, the Premier League is predicated on teams and managers that study other teams and managers to the hilt, especially the top teams, in order to know how to beat them. Right now, he's confusing the hell out of the opposition. They have no idea really how to deal with him. And so they focus on their game, but he knows their game. So it makes it even harder, unless you're sort of the Man Cities of this world and all that. And I'll reserve that judgment to when we meet them again. Because, yeah, it was 2-0. I think we were still in our infancy. And even at that, the margin wasn't that great. So we'll wait and see. But he is utilizing his skills, I would like to say. He's focusing. I do agree with whoever it was that wrote that thing that he's not yet using, he's only using about 20 to 30% of his repertoire as a coach. I think he is. I think that's true. I think he's focusing on the basics, getting the team to understand what he wants. And that was very, very um, apparent in the second half against Brighton. I do agree. Yes, he probably did give the instruction to Modric to when you get the ball to turn back and play it backwards to retain possession. To me, I would think it's a waste of Modric, but who am I? Maybe it's a discipline he needs to learn, that he can't always go charging forward, and it probably is teaching him how to control the ball better. Who knows? Maresca's the coach and not me. But look, we can't complain about what he's been doing so far. Has he benefited from having fitter players to Pochettino? Yeah, to some extent. But you can see it's more than that. It's what he's doing with the players, his game management. You can see what he's trying to get the players to do. Is Are they getting it? Are they capable of it? I believe they are. He believes they are. I think also, as has been mentioned, he will persist to some with some players. Some people may not like it. I can definitely see him giving Sanchez another go next game, maybe even the game after that, regardless of his errors, unless they are blatant errors. Well, you can't be more blatant than kicking to your opposition, but you know what I mean. Unless he does something like practically throw the ball into the net himself, I think he will try and persist a little bit longer. Madueke, the same thing. As I say, the game against Genk will be the eye opener. If he's not starting, or if he's not on the bench, because the last game he wasn't against Borough, he wasn't even on the bench. Some of the somewhat first teamers were totally rested. They were in the stands, like Jackson and so on. If he's not even on the bench, and you can more or less say that he's going to start him again against Forest. It's not necessarily the wrong thing to do. I don't dislike the player. I think he's quite effective. I think he's learning. Is he better than some of the other options we have? I would say marginally they may be a little bit better, but he has his qualities. They all do. And Maresca's acutely aware of that, and he's trying to work with that. I maintain this team will not really be showing signs of real integration until December. So there's a long way to go and a lot of matches we've got to try and win in the meantime. Forest coming up, I think Liverpool after that. They're not going to be easy, but he's going the right way, and he looks like finally, we've actually found the right man.
Yeah, I think we have. A lot of people called him a championship manager, and my argument at the time was that for him to have worked under Pep and won the treble at the time, he has Premier League experience. I don't think Pep would have agreed to have him as his second at the time if he doesn't bring anything tangible. You can say anything. You can say to Pep standards on the table, in my opinion. But that's by the way. Jay, let's hear you. Are we still co-Parma FC? Because some people argue that's the case, and I don't know how. Like, I get it. He got 3 assists for Noni Madueke on that day. But there are other people we have. They have scored goals too and created goals. He scored. People created it for him. So I don't know where the argument is coming from. I'd say probably most definitely from the camp of people who are looking for excuses to say, yeah, we're still not doing the right thing. Things are still going the right direction for us. We're still struggling. Yada yada yada. You know the gist, but let's hear you, Jay.
Um, hmm, I think this is a foolish argument in the first place, because you can
Hmm.
you can work it out yourself. When you look at the stats of individual players this season, you will see that there are a lot of individuals involved in the goals. There are a lot of people involved in the assist, and collectively, even if you have football knowledge, if you know the patterns of play, you will see that how we build up goals and how we're converting and taking the chances. You will see that it is more than a player, and this is a collective effort. Some of the goals are even worth watching more than 10 times, because the individuals, there are more than 4 or 5 individuals involved in the goal before someone takes it. And I think a good player a good player also has this instinct in him to be at the right place at the right time, and Palmer is one of those players. That does not justify to say that this whole team is will be known by his name. I think he's doing fantastically well, and the others are assisting him really well. And at times, I think when Madueke got the hat trick, Palmer assisted, I think 2 or 3 times to him. So on that day, he was assisting the other players, and on other days, the other one comes out to help them. So I think there is a collective unit that is working towards bigger goals, and it cannot be, it just cannot be denied that Palmer's involvement is huge, and he does change the result of few games for us, and I think he will do so in a lot of other matches as well. But you can maybe put that argument on last season, where on multiple occasions he saved our results and changed the fortune, and a lot had to be given to him. But this season, I think that this is an outdated argument, and just by looking at the stats, you can counter it easily.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for that, Jay. Anything else you guys want us to talk about? Otherwise, we're gonna call it a day. Yep, I think I don't know. We're not missing anything. Cole Palmer's numbers is that he scored 4 goals, created four chances with two of which are two big chances. Anything else? I think it was an excellent day for him. He did very well, but I don't think it makes sense to argue that we're called Palmer FC. That's because he's doing well, because he's one of our best players. If you could argue our best player at the moment, that doesn't mean we're called Palmer FC. Like as I said before, the goals he scored so far, people created. You can say 90% plus of those goals for him. I don't think, as Jay said, that's a foolish um, argument, really. I don't know. What else here? Yeah, I think we've talked about Copama FC or not. I don't. Nothing else comes to mind. I don't know about you, Dante. Anything else you want us to talk about, or anybody else on the panel? Bobby, you, Jay. Before we call it a day.
No, pretty good, coach. Would you just a quick question? Would you guys, how would you rate Cole Palmer, world class or superstar?
I still call Palmer. I still call him Rising Star. That's
Rising star. Okay.
yeah, that's me.
Not world class yet.
No, no, and I wouldn't even say he's generational yet. I know a lot of people. If they some people have called Ivan Estevan Willian a generational talent. For me, going by as the name, as the term implies, maybe. I think it only makes sense if one should be called a generational talent after dominating a certain generation of footballers. Then I'd agree it makes sense to call someone a generational talent. Messi is, Ronaldo is, because he's still playing. At the time, you could say, what's his name? Ronaldo de Lima. Yeah, he is, because if he was one of those that dominated a particular generation of footballers, there are a few players, and when you name them, you say yes, that's correct. But I don't think it makes sense to call an up and coming footballer. Uh, I know he's exhibited some skills. There are even some so-called top players or most experienced players hasn't they haven't shown that since the start of their career, but I don't think it makes sense to say he's generational talent. He's what's it that the rising? He's a rising star, in my opinion.
So what
Or you
makes
could
him
say
world class? What's the next step, coach, for him to be world
world
class to
class
you?
very soon,
Oh, oh,
in my opinion. But let's hear other people speak about that. Okay.
yeah, I really, I'm keen to come in on this, and I agree. He is a rising star. I mean, when you talk of world class talents, I mean, you're looking at people like the great Thierry Henry, you're looking at Messi, Ronaldo, the two Ronaldos, Ronaldinho's. These are
Mhm.
people that won major honors and
And Bobby,
performed.
you're not even talking about generational talent yet. You're still at
No,
world
no,
class.
no, he's a rising
That's how
star.
you
And
look at
boy,
world class and how you rate it. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I mean, he we appreciate his talent. He's a wonderful talent, but he's a kid. He has some way to go. It's like I still remember seeing Messi right up close at Stamford Bridge when he was what, 16, 17. I remember when Delorno got the red card for the tackle against him in the Champions League game. Then he was a rising star, and boy was he a player, and he had achieved a lot. at that stage. He'd won things and was still regarded as a rising star because of his age. I would put Cole Palmer in that bracket. He's got to take us to glory. He's got to achieve that glory, and it's longevity now. This is what he's really his second season at the top flight of football. There's a long way to go, but
So, how
sure.
many seasons, Bobby? Sorry to interrupt. How many seasons does he need?
Well, if he
I mean,
has
you can't
glory
measure
this
it. There
season,
are
yeah, you
it's
can.
it's fluid.
Yeah, there's no 10 steps to this and 5 steps to this and 2 steps to this. No. If, for example, he wins the Premier League and he wins the what cup are we in Europe? He wins the Conference League and the World Club Cup this season. He will certainly do that leap towards being a world great a heck of a lot of good. But
Then
if he has
then cannot argue that. You can start
yeah,
arguing that he is.
well,
Yeah.
you can say that, he really is walking into that territory. But if he, as is suspected, he has successes and continues to show consistency this season, his second season, then next season, this is why it's so vital that these people stay in one club and that one club is successful. Because, if he remains at Chelsea, is successful with Chelsea, he will make a name with Chelsea. I'm not all this, he has to go to this, the fashionable, he's got to go to Real Madrid. No, Palmer needs to make his name where he is. This is what will make him a world class player. This is what happens with world class players. Is he on that path? Absolutely. Is he there yet? No, he's not yet. Not quite.
When you talk about staying in one place to make it, I think it depends on the team overall. Um, it's fluid. It's not that simple to say. Again, what one needs to do beyond his playing ability and what he ends up winning. I think the team is important. I don't advise one stays in one place to be able to reach that level. Sometimes actually one may actually need to move on.
No, I
Um,
disagree, coach. I know you like seeing players move on, and I know you love
no,
seeing
no, I
players
don't.
go
I
to
don't.
Real
I'm just
Madrid.
saying.
But
For instance, go ahead,
But
Bobby. Go ahead.
if I can land, I've watched people like Zinedine Zidane, who eventually went to Real Madrid, was walking on water with Marseille before he even left the shores of France. People like um, what's the guy that was the FIFA president? Platini. These were world greats. These were really, really great players. Messi, it's undeniable what he achieved with Barcelona before he ever went anywhere else. Yes, a lot depends on the team's success. Of course, it does. The team has to be successful, and when it's not, then the question marks will arise. But when a player is 22 years old in his second season, he must be pushed into that longevity. And I can see the club has already started that with the length of his contract anyway. But he must be pushed into that longevity of achievement, and then we can start to talk of who he is. Look at Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard became that world class player at Chelsea and indeed lost his talent when he went to Real Madrid. Now you can blame injury and so on and so forth, whatever. He was unlucky. But the fact just goes to show that sometimes the grass isn't greener on the other side. Sometimes it is. But with someone like Palmer, I truly, truly believe that his trajectory with this young team that he has around him and his peers around him, his destiny lies here. And this is where he'll make his mark.
Dante, do not forget, I'll go to Jed and I'll come back to you. I'd like to hear your thoughts on Bobby's argument that suggesting that one. Now, I'm not sure whether he's saying that for certain need to stay in a particular club to be able to reach that level. Do not forget, please. Once Jay drops, if it passes it on to you, I want you to talk about that. I want to get your text on your thoughts on one staying in one club to be able to achieve that status, world class player maybe. But Jay, let's hear your thoughts.
Um, Regarding the question that Dante asked, I
Yeah,
think for
generational
Palmer,
talent, world class player, what does he
world
take?
class.
And
Yeah,
and and you can also answer Dante's question. Yeah, he did ask a question. That was why what led to us you could say going deeper into that territory maybe, but go ahead.
yeah. Look, I won't really place a title on him. The two or three options that he gave me, I don't think. I think it will be too early to place him on those titles. World class is a little is a category that you need the trophies, and you need to assist your team to win trophies, and then you can have the pathway to go into that conversation. Personally, I see it that way. So I won't really place a title on him right now. I think he's very much capable of going in that direction. But right now, I won't be too quick to put him there. But one thing that I want to mention is I think there needs to be more respect to be shown to his name now. I see arguments of people, mentioning the likes of Lamine Yamal, Jude Bellingham, Jamal Musiala, and they tend to differentiate it from Cole Palmer. I think he belongs to that category. Now, I'm not saying those players are also world class, but I think there is much more respect is shown to them rather than to Cole Palmer. I think he belongs to that category now. Now, whatever category that is, that needs to be discussed. But I think he's well capable of being discussed among those players, and
So are
that
you
is
saying
what.
he's a
It's
rising
sort of
star,
equalized.
world class player? Let's hear where you stand.
I mean, you can differentiate it. For me, the rising stars would be. I know there is a very thin line between this, but I think the differentiation comes. I see the likes of Endrick, Estavo Willian. I see them as the rising stars, which needs to show their potential. These guys are here and playing for the big clubs, and I'm talking about in the magnitude of respect that has been shown to those players and not
Hmm.
to Cole Palmer's name. On a world level, on a world trajectory, on a world stage, I don't think Palmer is being mentioned there. And I think after yesterday's game, I
PR.
think he's very,
Hendrick has a much better PR, but Palmer
yeah,
has been the much better player in terms of
exactly. I mean,
at
in
the
what
level at
world
which
are
he's
we?
played, what he's shown.
Yeah,
Hendrick is just he has a very very strong PR.
yeah,
Hendrick
exactly.
isn't actually performing at the same level as Estevan
Hmm,
Willian, in my opinion. But go
yeah.
ahead.
Exactly, and Bellingham plays in that 10 role. I think if you place Palmer, specifically talking about the England job, the England team, I think if you
Hmm.
place Palmer in that 10 role, he will produce a lot more than Bellingham. Not disrespecting Bellingham, but that is what I think of Cole Palmer. He can surpass these type of players, and that is where he needs to be placed. Now going
In my
back to
opinion, he's a much better 10 than Bellingham. He's more equipped to
exactly,
fulfill the number
but you
10
will see a
role.
difference. But you
Yeah.
will see a difference when there is conversation, right? You will see Bellingham
Hmm.
is some goat, the type of conversation that is being held, maybe because of the Madrid PR, and Palmer is maybe doing much or on statistically, even on on the field, you see him doing and involving the team in a lot of other patterns, but yet there is a slight difference when respect is shown to those two players. But anyways, going to the other thing about a club, a player wants to move to a bigger club. I think it's a little
Aha, it's
personal.
important you talk about that too. Whether a player should
Yeah,
stay in one club to be able to achieve that status, world class player to be more or less. That's where we're at right now. And I haven't heard you talk about who is a generational talent before we go to Dante. The two
yeah.
things, generational talent and whether a player, Bobby's argument, your take on Bobby's argument that a player should stay in the same club to be able to achieve that. If I'm misquoting him, I think he can correct that later. But let's hear you.
Hmm. In my eyes, if you want to experience this argument with the names of few players, I think Messi, Ronaldo are the guys that those were generational, right? At the very young age, there were signs that these guys are going to do and achieve a lot of greater things in the future, which they actually made it possible. They did it, and that is why they were called generational. Now, that is why it's not
So
easy to
clearly,
put.
you're saying just quickly, Jay. I'm sorry, I apologize to you. Achievements define
Yeah,
whether you are generational talent or not. But
it
unfortunately, a
is,
lot of
coach.
people
It
throw
is,
that
and
recklessly. They throw it around recklessly, and I get infuriated whenever I see that. But go ahead with what you
hmm.
were saying.
I see. This is that thing, coach. Even when you talk about the highest award for an individual player, that being the Ballon d'Or, trophies just weight a lot in that category. Cole Palmer, if England would have won the Euros, if Chelsea would have won a few trophies, he would be much higher in that in that conversation. Believe me.
Mm,
Hence,
mm.
you can see that trophies is the only thing, the achievement is the only thing that is separating him from the Ballon d'Or argument. So, if it is possible for Ballon d'Or, I think it is also possible that players will think that way, that they need a surrounding where their ability, their personal abilities can be it can be more fulfilled, it can be more
Mm.
fulfilled and more replenished by the team in which they are playing. I think Cole Palmer, despite him being very humble right now, if he is going to continue to do the same thing and not win anything, he will think, and I think he will be justified to think that he needs to move on, because it's, after all, it's his
To reach
call,
that
it's his
level,
career.
right?
Exactly. It's his career. And why people choose Madrid? Because they know that that particular talent can be justified by the achievements and trophies that Real Madrid is going to present to them. And hence, I think it's a really personal choice. And in my eyes, it will be justified for any player to take such a move if after a few years he see that he has done a lot and he needs to move on. So I will not really judge it by that argument.
Mm. Bobby, you have some. It looks like you wanted to say something before we go to Dante. I hope Dante is taking notes because we've actually addressed a lot. So, good. Bobby, you wanted to interject, I think. Do we still have Bobby here? All right, Dante, you can come on. Let's hear you. Generational talent, world class talent. You did ask that question, but we didn't. It was you that asked the question, but we didn't get your opinion on that. Uh, let's
Yep.
hear you. Uh, what does one
Yeah.
need to do? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. You know the
First
question.
of all, yeah. So first of all, well, it depends how you look at it. How you perceive a world class talent. For me, a world class player is someone that starts for his nation, that starts for a top club in the world. That's a world class player.
Just
Winning
without
trophies
achievements. Just you start for your country and you start for your uh, for a top club.
for a top club, like a top 10 club in the world, like the
Really?
top four
Okay.
leagues, first two three teams
That's a
each league. Yeah,
different perspective from all of us on the panel already.
yeah.
But go ahead.
Exactly. So it's how you look at a world class player. So to me, that's a world class player because you've reached the heights of international football. You're representing your country. You're a starter. You're a
Hmm.
starter at a big club, which Chelsea is a big club. And you're a starter, and you're not just the starter. You're the star of that team. So yeah. So it's just he obviously didn't get chosen for England because of Southgate, but I'm sure that's going to change very quickly. I'm sure he'll be a starter on that team pretty quickly. Uh, but that's how I look at it as a world class talent. I mean, a world class player. You've already made it. Trophies, of course, trophies, and that, like how Jay says, that puts you to the next level. That adds you to superstar. You become a superstar once you start winning everything, and you do those things. Then you're a superstar. So is Cole Palmer a superstar? No, he's not a superstar. Is he a world class player? It's very, very close. Just because he wasn't chosen as the starter for his country, but we all know he should be really, and he probably will be from now on. So yeah, that's why I look at it as a world class player. Look at Lamine Yamal, for example, 16-year-old wins with Barcelona, wins the European Championship as a starter as a 16-year-old for Spain.
If you want to stick
That
with
is
your
a
argument,
generational talent.
you have to remove wins because I'm guessing you're mentioning winning La Liga and winning the the
What more do you
Euros,
want,
right?
coach?
So
At
if you're sticking
16,
with your
what more do you
argument, which
want?
say to just start for, not win, but
Yeah,
go
look,
ahead,
at
I'm
16,
listening.
starting for Barcelona, probably top 3 club in the world, if not top 2. Starting for Barcelona, starting for Spain, winning a European Championship, being in the team of the tournament. He's 16, 17. That's a generational talent there, 100% generational talent. And he's really a superstar now, and he is a superstar, even though he's his age, because he's won already.
No, superstar status is a different. I think it's different factors define once a status
I'm
a
just saying,
status
to me,
as a
he's won.
superstar or
Yeah.
not.
Once you start winning major tournaments and trophies, you become a superstar for me. So for me, he's a
Yeah.
superstar already. He's the face of Barcelona
Yeah,
at 16,
superstar is the
17 years old.
easiest to achieve. You could
Sorry?
argue. Superstar out of what class status? Those
Yep.
three statuses. Let's name them: being a world class player, being a generational player or
Yep.
talent. Being a generational player. Let's be more specific there. And superstar is a different thing. Somebody, for
Yeah.
instance, who else? Who is a superstar right now? Even John Duran is superstar.
No.
Superstar has to do with popularity.
No. How can you put John
That's how
Duran
I
in that
see it.
conversation,
It's
coach?
popularity.
No,
You
no,
fumbled.
no.
You fumbled. You
You
fumbled
can't put
Really?
there.
John Duran in that conversation, coach.
Yeah.
Superstar. No, I'm just saying, superstar isn't it about popularity? Not really about achievement.
It includes popularity, and Lamine Yamal is pasted all over Barcelona. Go
Yeah,
have a
I
look in
agree. I'm
Yeah.
not
Barcelona's billboard.
arguing whether he's again. Well, I'm not
The
arguing
th-
whether he's a superstar or not. It'd be stupid to argue against that. I'm just saying,
I think
superstar is the easiest. The superstar status is the easiest to achieve of being a world class player and the other one generational player. But go ahead, what you
Yeah,
were saying. I'm not saying he's not. I'm not arguing against that. Definitely, he's a superstar.
he
But
is
go ahead.
because he's got the popularity. He's everywhere on every billboard in Barcelona. He's got the big shoe deals.
Yeah,
He's won already, so that to me makes him that already. I don't care about his
yeah.
age.
I'm
He's
not
done it.
arguing against that. But do you agree that's the easiest to achieve of the three statuses we're talking about?
No, it's not. It's not. You're saying at 16 years old to start for Barcelona, to start for Spain, to win a major trophy, to win the league, to win cups for Barcelona, to your name to be
yeah.
everywhere on every billboard in Barcelona, and to be pretty
So
much
is it
the
easier to be recognized as a world class footballer than a superstar?
yes, of course it is easier to be a
I
world
don't
class.
think so. I'd
Superstars the
rather.
next level.
I mean, I'd believe you if you
You
say
know,
maybe if you achieve one, you definitely have achieved the other one. Then I'll believe you.
what?
No, 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 not quite. No.
I think all these terms are really closely related and can be used and are used interchangeably, and hence there is such an argument around it because
Yeah.
a lot of players can be placed in the same similar categories a lot of times, and hence there is a lot of confusion. And first of all, we don't have any textbook definitions of all of it. Hence, there will always be
There you go.
confusion.
The most
I can't
important
believe
there.
he said
So the
Duran.
answer you get,
Where did Duran
In
come
other
from,
Yeah,
words,
coach?
the
John
answer
You're
you
Duran,
right.
get
come on,
depends
coach.
on who you
No,
ask.
coach, John Duran is criminal. You can't say that.
That is the worst take of the year. You win the trophy.
I think the show should end there.
I think if you have a trophy for the worst take of the year, you have just won. You're a superstar, coach.
I don't like the
Yep.
two of you. I do not like the two of you at all. Yes, still, I still say, superstar to achieve superstar status to me is still easiest. What class it takes a lot,
No, it's not
probably
easy, coach.
define
How is
what
it easy to be a
your
superstar?
achievement defines your world class status. Whether you, in my opinion, then generational talent. I'm still saying you'd have to play and dominate a certain generation to earn the right to be called a generational player, in my opinion. Because I think if you're going by the definition of words, generational talent, some people would argue probably you could call Hendrick that. You could call Esther William that. But get what
But
you
he
were
didn't,
saying. And
coach. He
Jay,
didn't score that much. He
I'd
didn't
like
do
you to
that
give
much.
Jay the space to come at me because he wants to come at me.
I'll
He
come at
says
you too, buddy. I'll
I
let Jay go
fumbled
ahead,
it.
Jay.
No, I just finished the argument. I don't think I said, as I said, there are no permanent or fixed textbook definition. Hence, there will always be argument around
Yeah,
these
yeah,
terms,
yeah,
Of
yeah.
course, yeah,
and it will go
exactly.
on for
There's
it
no
will go on
definite
forever.
definition for all of them.
Yeah,
There's not. No,
I
there's
mean,
not. And
where will you place KDB for the argument?
Yeah,
who?
he haven't told us that whether you'd have to stay for in a particular club just to
Yeah,
achieve the world class status, like Bobby argued. And I'm still
no.
saying if I'm misquoting him, let him correct me so we don't.
That's
Yeah,
yeah. That's an old thing. That won't happen anymore. That's a very rare thing to happen. If Cole Palmer becomes if he continues on this trajectory and we're winning nothing, I guarantee you he will not stay at Chelsea.
he would want to win. Yeah,
He will
win
not stay at
something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Chelsea. It doesn't matter if he's played with his team and their friends, but it doesn't matter. He will not stay at Chelsea. I can guarantee you that now. These players have they have an arrogance to them. They're cocky. They have an arrogance. They want to win. he's going to give it all for Chelsea. But in the next few years, if we're not winning nothing and we're not progressing forward, he will leave. I can guarantee you that. I
Yeah.
just don't see the players are not the same. They're not as loyal as they once was. That doesn't happen in football anymore. It's very, very rare, extreme in any sport really. All the sports have gone away from that. Most of the sports in the world have gone away from that. There's so many examples. It just doesn't happen anymore. For success, if they haven't achieved success with their club, like which they grew out and did. Cole Palmer grew at Man City. He didn't even grow at us, first of all. But they move on. Simple. He left Man City. They gave him the chance to Man City, and he
He
still moved
actually
on at a
started
young
from
age.
Man United. He loved Man United.
Exactly. So no, it
Yeah,
doesn't. I don't buy that. These days it doesn't happen. Maybe 20, 30 years ago, maybe that used to happen. There was ways of doing that. But now with social media and just the way everything works, the popularity and the fame that comes with it, they move on.
you can say
They're
I
not as
sometimes.
sentimental as they once were.
Yeah, in the case of Real Madrid, for instance, their PR power, I'd argue, plays a huge part in how many players they've had win the Ballon d'Or.
Of course, coach. You're
In
playing
all
for
honesty,
they're the number one
yeah.
club in the world, but they are. It's
Mhm.
not even an argument. They're the best club in the world. They've won the most. They're the most popular, financial, as in incentives, financially, salaries. They play everything around it. They're number one club in the world. It's just
Yeah.
that simple.
And everyone
So
wants to attach their name to tradition and heritage, right? And I think Real Madrid
Oh
is
If
that
you
yeah, yeah.
thing.
notice, if you notice, coach has done his very best to drag me into that
he's
into
trying to, Bobby.
that nonsense. I'm not falling for your bait, coach. Not falling for it.
Good
So
It's not
job,
you were
the
Bobby.
listening,
conversation I
right? You
thought to
didn't
have.
just want to.
Yeah, I've been around. You just want to get me involved.
He's trying to
Uh,
drag you in. Yeah, he's trying.
Okay, so Bobby knew exactly what he was doing. Dante, I don't know you have any other question, Jay, any other question for the panel,
No,
or
coach.
Bobby, if you have any questions for
That's
us.
about it. Yeah, like I just wanted to
But
find
that
out.
was a good one. That was a good one. I
Yeah,
think we need to actually schedule a show on this sister channel where we discuss who is a generational talent, who is a world class talent, and what does it take to become a superstar.
yeah.
I
So
think
like I said,
it's a very
Lamine Yamal,
it's an
coach.
you can
Lamine
say
Yamal,
it will
he's
make
16.
go ahead.
Sorry, Lamine Yamal, he's a generational talent because at 16 he's done what other 16-year-olds cannot do. That is a generational talent. He's won already at the senior level. He's a generational talent and a superstar. He's both at the moment.
My goodness, you really want to drag me into that debate, but I'm not ready
It's the
right
truth.
now, just like Bobby said. Bobby, you wanted to say something.
And John Duran's a close second.
That's so true about Yamal. Very true. He really is already
He
a
has, yeah, he has the trophies
generational
to show
talent.
for it. If you want to argue that,
Yep.
yeah,
Have you
if
seen
what you've
our
won
other Messi
defines your
coach? Have you seen
status,
the?
he's there.
Have you
Sorry.
guys seen Rabaj, the Messi we have in the under
yeah,
16s?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I didn't know we had that kid until here's the striking thing. He looks like him a bit.
He looks exactly like Messi.
Runs,
No, a bit.
yeah, runs like him.
Plays like him, same body
Plays
type,
like him. I
everything.
knew
He's
nothing
copied his
about him
game.
until a few days ago that I saw a post on X. I was like, "Who's this kid?"
Well, you can argue is a talent because he scored like 50 goals in 30 something games and 40
Yeah, I'm
assists.
seeing his numbers too.
Generational.
I'm going, "Wow!" But why didn't we hear that much about him? Is it because he was playing for the under 16s or under
He was
what
too
do you
young.
call them?
Yeah, he wasn't eligible to play. Yeah, he was a bit
But it
too
looks
young. He
like
wasn't
he's
eligible to
eligible
play.
now.
He's eligible now to play, and he can go up. They'll move him up most likely. He'll be eligible to go up to the under 18s and under 21s. The rules in England are a little bit different from around the world. The youngsters do get held back quite a bit. A lot of youngsters do leave because of that. They don't, like
Wait.
look,
Can you say that
Yamal for a
again?
reason.
So you said the rules in England do hold some youngsters back a
They
bit
do. It
because you're
does.
required to get to a certain age before you move on to.
Yes, and sign contracts and sign professional contracts and all that. You need to be a certain
Ooh.
age. It's not the same. Like
So and you're saying that
Yamal, for
has led to
example.
us losing certain talents.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, because Lamal, 16-year-old, he can't be playing in the Premier League. He wouldn't have been able to play in the Premier League. No chance. You're not allowed. You can't play. So you have to be a certain age. play for a certain amount of time. The rules are a bit different in England, unfortunately. In Spain, they're very relaxed. That's why you got a lot of the young kids coming through. They play there, and a lot of the young English talent. A lot of them go overseas because of that reason as well.
Shanks, just go away. Jay, you wanted to
No,
say
he
something?
does play like Messi. I've watched him quite a
Yeah,
lot now.
he
I've
played like him
looked at
with
him
some
quite a lot.
attributes. Yeah,
He
Yeah.
does the same moves. He's got the same running style. He's got the same body type. Everything is a copy of Messi. Absolutely everything. He's like a clone of Messi. The skills level is ridiculous. You can actually call him a generational talent at 15 to do how many goals
don't
he
start,
scored.
please,
How many
please
assists.
don't.
The only problem that
Go ahead, Jay.
Him
I
and
mean
Duran.
yeah, Duran.
Go,
By the way,
Jay.
Duran is playing right now, and if he scores, that will be a lot of mud on my face. Still at 5 minutes to go.
At least it's 2-2. It looks like at Aston Villa, so we'll stay in fourth.
Yeah, hopefully, and we
You
will
should
stay
see. You
fourth.
see before Jay starts. You guys should see our predictions for this week. I think I'll show you Dante. But go ahead, Jay. You were saying something.
I don't think there's any need to show that. It has passed.
No, there's a need.
Let it slide.
Come on.
I think the only problem that I saw with Rabaz is that he had a photo with the Moroccan guy, the Moroccan Chelsea player, Hakim Ziyech.
Ziyech.
That is a little concerning. Stay away
That's
from
because
that
they're
guy.
the same nationality.
Why is
I mean,
that
still stay
concerning?
away.
Background. Yeah.
I mean,
they're the
stay
same
away
I say,
from
why
that
is
guy.
that concerning?
A good influence on the kid, man.
No,
It's just a photo, buddy.
I think
Come on.
Ziyech. I think Ziyech was misunderstood.
I mean, come on. You guys can't jump on me when coach had a take on John Duran. It's not that big.
It's not as bad, no, but it's just a photo. He's just because his nationality, his background is the same. That's all. So yeah, that's nothing to do with.
Let's have this right. Ziyech doesn't have attitude issue. I think it's the way he carries himself has led to people judging him unfairly, feeling like they probably with the perception that the way he carries himself is reflective of his personality. I think that's wrong.
We don't know.
He's misunderstood.
He was kicked out of his national team because of his attitude.
He's had problems.
Kicked into the
But when the
stands
manager,
at
when
Ajax
that particular
because of
coach
his
was fired, he was
attitude.
called back. But go ahead, Bobby.
Yeah, he's a player that has attitude. Ajax kicked him out. National team kicked him out.
Did the Ajax kick him out or he left?
He was benched. No, there was after a while.
He had a disciplinary issue, off-field issue.
Yeah.
He was friends. His best friend was Lukaku.
Let's just say he likes very fast cars and very fast women as well.
Jay, you're not being right. You're not being nice right now. So you think if you say his best friend was Lukaku, that's it?
I think I
You
just
win the
opened a
argument,
nasty.
right?
I think I just opened a nasty Pandora's
Another
box
one,
with this
opening another
Ziyech
one.
debate.
But I don't think we'd let that kid go. But probably it's not up to us because I
It's
think
not up to us,
somebody
coach.
did explain something the other day. I can't remember when exactly. That at some point the kid will have the option to continue at Chelsea or leave. Right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, coach, because he can't sign a professional contract with us or anyway. He
So,
can't sign a
okay,
contract.
so at the time he'd have the option to either leave or continue until the time comes for him to sign a professional contract.
Correct.
Right?
Yes, but he can go to Spain now. If the Spain come calling,
I think from what I know,
goodbye.
From what I know about booking directors, if he really is that good, they will make sure he remains at Chelsea. You know, there's
Doesn't
ways.
matter.
He's already in our clutches, and you know their influences, their ways you approach the parents, and it's just the power of persuasion.
Not if Real Madrid or Barcelona come calling, Bobby.
Well, that's a big if, isn't it? You know,
Yeah, it's a big if.
You guys put a lot of emphasis on those teams. Those teams play for Europe. They don't really have a league to play with. They don't have the fabulous wealth of Premier League clubs. Real Madrid may be just about because of their size in terms of their merchandising, but on average, Certainly not Barcelona. Barcelona don't have that financial capability and probably won't do for decades because of how they've mortgaged the club already. I think it's nice, it's glamorous. For us in England, we look at some of the European clubs and we like them, and rightly so. But I think we do ourselves a disservice to underestimate the capacity of English clubs. So Ipswich have done us a favour. The capacity of English clubs in terms of their finances, in terms of their pulling power, in terms of their league, in terms of their development structure. If you're at Chelsea and you are highly regarded, you are actually going to be thrown into the realms of proper football quicker and develop better than at these somewhat lesser leagues. I'm not convinced that if Chelsea really, really want that guy, if they really want him, I'm not convinced that they can't get him. I'm not at all. I
It's
don't
not
think
up to Chelsea,
Barcelona will
coach.
be
It's
able
not up
to
to
get.
Chelsea, Bobby.
And well, you can keep saying that if it makes you feel better, but I think they can play a huge part. It's about persuasion. Look, I've had
I
dealings
agree,
with
but
the
what did
Chelsea,
you say?
the
What do you
Didn't
think
Chelsea.
we
is the number
I,
one priority for
I,
the families and
didn't
these kids?
didn't we lost
Number
a
one
guy, a
priority.
well,
very talented guy to Liverpool?
yeah, I mean that's because they weren't really showing that level of by the time they showed any intent, they had left it for a long time. Look, I've had involvement, direct involvement with the Chelsea academy structure. Maybe not in recent times, but certainly in times gone by. The way that, and well, maybe it's changed now because of the departure of the likes of Neil Bath and so on. But the way that system is, if you are in their sights, if you are somebody that they are keen on, the machinery gets started a long way back and to bringing you to the club. I mean, I saw it with the
It
way
does,
they
yeah.
acquired Gail Kakuta, which got us into trouble. I saw it with the way they acquired Bertrand Traore, which I think was also one of the things that got us into trouble.
Hmm.
That machine is well oiled, well rehearsed, and it is they look into detail with the player, the family. In the case of certainly Bertrand Traore, there are issues in and around the well-being of the family, which the club was prepared to offer and take care of. Now, I'm not stupid enough to think
That's
that,
changed, Bobby.
if a club vis-a-vis Real Madrid show interest in this kid, that it would be, it wouldn't be competitive to keep hold of him. But I'm also not blinded enough to understand that if, and we're all, we're dealing with ifs and buts here. If Chelsea really feel this guy is a second coming of Lionel Messi, they will pull out no stops to keep him. And it goes beyond him because it's a matter of at that age, it's the family consent
Parents.
that the parents that dictates the direction the kid goes. And if they are astute enough to get the likes of Esteval Williams and Kendry Pius from South American clubs that are more akin to the Real Madrids and so on of this world, who wanted these players,
But why did we
I
get them,
think.
Bobby? Why?
Well, there's a multiplicity of reasons. I mean, I would be lying if I sat on this platform and told you I knew exactly why. They did their homework. They approached the family. They offered things to the family that the family found acceptable. It's really that simple. And
Yeah,
it,
money, Bobby. It's money.
well, money and other things. For example, I don't know. For example, they may say, "Excuse me, we'll take care of your healthcare for the
No,
next
no.
Yeah,
50 years.
They
We'll
haven't
play
got
their
problems.
health.
That's
Play.
problems, Bobby. Come
No,
on.
you're
They're
just
really,
attacking everything I'm saying. I'm
they're not
throwing
poor.
out what the possibilities are,
Not
and
that poor. Jeez.
this was an example. It wasn't that this is exactly what happened. Some people may value that. They may say, okay, health insurance where we live is very, very expensive. If, as one of the incentives, our family health insurance is taken care of for a decade, I'm giving an example, then
Yeah,
that might
there are
be
other
it.
factors to consider beyond money.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not, it's not, there are reasons. Real Madrid paid what, 75 million for Endrick? They're not shy at paying money for these youngsters. But when it came to Esteval Williams, there was something Chelsea had to offer the family that was better than the other people chasing him. That's just the reality. And to stay here because of some sort of sentiment towards these people and pretend it's not possible, I just think is very disingenuous. You're not
It's
dealing with
possible, Bobby, but
your run of the mill club that you can just turn up and say, "Oh, my name is Real Madrid and I will get anything." It doesn't work like that. That is cuckoo land
Bobby,
stuff.
sorry, just one quick question for you. So, say Real Betis come tomorrow and offer him a professional contract for £50,000, €50,000 a week. He's What do you think his family will do?
Well,
What do you
actually,
think? Will he
it's
stay in
funny.
Chelsea and play for another 2 seasons with the under 16s and under 17s and under 18s,
It's
or go and
funny.
start professionally for a club and get paid already for like
It's
the next
funny.
3-4 years already?
Okay,
It's funny you should
let's hear
say
Bobby.
that. It's funny you should say that because, oh gosh, I wish I could remember. We have a player, and this is in recent times, that went to a so-called lesser club for that same reason. The club came, and oh gosh, who is this? Maybe as I'm talking, it will come to me. The club came and said,
Is
"Hey,
it
look,
Solanke? I don't think it was. Was it Solanke?
I've forgotten. It will come to me. But the club came and said, "Hey, look, you come to us. You will be on the bench, for example, and you will be getting a look into the Premier League." Whereas Chelsea were not prepared to do that. We had
Are you talking
far
about
too
that young
many.
Brazilian kid,
Oh gosh,
the right
Oh,
back,
right. Yeah, yeah.
Lima?
Hmm.
Lima,
is it Lima? Yeah, 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 yeah.
Lima, the
That's
right
right.
back that went
That's
to
right. Him to Strasbourg. Was it Strasbourg? No, it wasn't
no, so
Strasbourg.
No,
he
It was
went
not
another
to
Strasbourg.
Chelsea.
Wolves.
Wolves, yeah, thank you. Thank you. You see, even now,
You know
Wolves
about
Was
it,
it
came.
yeah?
Lima? Has Lima gone
It
to
was
Wolves?
Lim. Yeah,
Yeah, but
it
that's a
was.
completely different thing, Bobby.
No, it's an example.
Oh,
It's
hold on.
very
Not
Let,
a
let's hear what
interesting you're
Bobby
He's an
has to
saying.
say.
average
Let's hear him.
player.
Let's hear Bobby. Go ahead.
You see, this is, yeah. I know I'm a Chelsea fan, but I'm not that. It becomes an argument that is, without being disrespectful, a sort of deluded argument if we are not looking at the reality on ground. Now, now, the Lima situation was that Chelsea offered him what they felt they could. I think they were going to send him out to Strasbourg because we've got enough in our team. Whereas Wolves were going to retain him for sure, although I haven't seen evidence of that yet, and get him on the bench and eventually on the pitch. So it was just that little bit extra of an offer that the lesser club, so to speak, could give that the greater club couldn't. And so they thought, "Do you know what? We'll get him to where he can get on the pitch, and then he'll be more eligible to a big transfer after having played." So, we can't just have this conclusion, this level of sort of worship, if you like, of, oh, Real Madrid, oh, they're coming. It doesn't work like that. And I can tell you, Chelsea in particular do not think like that. They're like, okay, you want this player? Well, you're going to have to sweat for it because if we want him, we're going to go for him as well. And rightly so. Now, if they end up with him like they did with Endrick, all is fair in love and war. They all went for Endrick. Endrick went to Real
Money
Madrid.
number one again.
Well, yeah, money was a big factor, but the XYZ down the line came at Esteval Williams with money, but Esteval Williams by then the family had already been persuaded with money and other incentives by the Chelsea group. This is how it works. It's not cut and
Just on
dry.
Lima, Bobby, as well. Wolves offered him more money as well and
Well,
a
there
longer
you go.
contract.
There you
Yeah,
go.
not always money. In most cases, I think it depends on how you sell your
But
project.
it is
Because
for a player
money
that's
comes
not
into play.
for a
So
player
in
that's kind of just he's a good player, but nothing. He's not established. Lima was just an average good player, nothing special, playing in the second division. big
So
difference. So for him, he of course is going to accept the money as well. So, but I'm just saying that money is so important to the
it is.
families. Like
It,
you said, that the kids don't even have control.
well, yes and no. But yeah, I mean, if the kid doesn't definitely want to come, the family aren't going to force the kid to go somewhere where they'll be unhappy. I mean, Esteval Williams, perfect example. Kendry Pius, these were highly sought after youngsters. Now, back to our initial point. If, and I'm underline the word if, this Messi kid, if I may call him that, is really a Messi clone and the club value him as such, I can assure you that it will be highly competitive to get him out of Chelsea. It may be
It will be, yeah.
almost impossible. And the kind of money that will be banded around will be, people will call it ridiculous. And that will be the yardstick to determine. So we wait and see. Another
We
thing
keep
you
an eye on
have
this.
to
Yeah.
remember is that often with these children, some of them, when you see them, they act like. I mean, I remember seeing Gail Kakuta back in the day. My goodness me. Gail Kakuta at 15, 16 was an absolute baller. Just like that, what's his name? Ado player in America.
Freddie.
Some kid. Yeah,
Freddie.
Freddie Adu. That's it.
Mm.
Wow, as a kid, he was an absolute baller. Then, as they start to grow older, that's when the
Changes, yeah.
physicality is changing.
Body
That's when
changes.
you exactly that's where you separate the wheat from the chaff, if I may use biblical terms.
That's why
So it's
Freddie Adu was
always
so sought after. His physical was like he was a beast compared to anyone else. It was
yeah, but as he
uh,
grew up, his ability waned. So it's always a gamble with youngsters. Even these look at Hendrick, Hendrick. People are saying, "Wow, he does look a monster." Is he performing better than Esteval Williams at the moment? I would argue no, but it
No,
is at
and
the
at Real Madrid,
moment.
it just look like the only thing he gets correct is put on shampoo on his head.
Yeah, but
That's it.
that is at the moment. However,
Yeah.
let's not take our eyes off what happened to Vinicius Junior. Vinicius Junior in the beginning was all left feet and no product, no end product. After a season or two with Ancelotti and his Galactico whispering, this guy has now become perhaps one of the best, if not the best, wingers in the world. So it's a gamble, and it's a relative wait and see situation. That's just my point. I don't want to take away the power of the top Premier League clubs. It's not something to be underestimated at all.
All right. Let's catch up while we're having the chat. If we have anything else, otherwise we'll call it a day. Really like want to watch the Tottenham game. This says big up to you, to Mikael. Nice to see you and the esteemed Chelsea Perspective panel and chat. Common you Blues. It is the day after another Blues win. Good times, good vibes. And let me see 1 second. This scrolled up while I was reading it. Good vibes. What a first half that was yesterday. It was crazy. Cole Palmer scoring 4 goals in one half. That's could have been 6 goals in one half actually, but I take the 4. And because says Mount was supposedly a generational talent too. Jean Durand, Jay, you see what you're cussing. I didn't say Jean Durand is a generational talent. The argument at the time was superstar status, which I said if we're going back, that's it. Yeah, was my argument was that that's the
no, no,
easiest to
don't wriggle
achieve.
out of this one, coach. You're not wriggling out of this one.
But in all
Yeah,
honesty, what I said at the time
Well,
was that superstar
I'm I-
status is
I'm
the
going to
easiest
I'm going to
to achieve.
recycle this thing more than I recycle the meat thing. Remember, coach? This is going to trend.
guys, can I
No, but
just
I'm
add
not backing out
something?
in my argument. Superstar status is
Look,
easy to
Oh
achieve.
Lord.
Oh
Ben
my!
Chilwell, maybe still is, was a football superstar.
What?
He was.
What is
Yeah.
he doing?
Oh, so,
Now
but let me
Chilwell
finish.
is a superstar?
Yeah, Mikhail continues. Just 1 second, Bobby. In my humble opinion, any player must dominate for 4 to 6 years against the best in their generation before being put up on pedestals and gets a big head. Yeah, I think it makes sense in terms of that's. It depends. What status are you talking about? There are three. There are three statuses here: superstar, world class, and then a generational player. So we have to revisit that argument. If you haven't, please kindly take a second, drop a like on the stream to help us get more likes. I'm thinking about Mount and Balotelli. Balotelli was a superstar. He was. In all honesty,
He
world
was. Yeah,
class,
he
I
actually
don't know.
was.
Yeah, he was a superstar. In all honesty, irrespective of what Jay thinks of me. Even Ryan Bertrand, yep, he won the UEFA Champions League on his debut. Doesn't make him general. No, he's not. Not even close. Not even close. So sometimes even winning stuff
Blake,
doesn't
No, that's
winning
completely
stuff alone
different. Yeah.
doesn't define you. You can say it doesn't mean you're a generational talent or even a superstar. Hello, Kachila and the Pan. Hello to you too, Chama. Nice to see you. It's been a minute. I do hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to be with us today. Happy Sunday, everyone. Chelsea are finally cooking. Hopefully, let's believe we're cooking. Somebody wanted to say something. Was it Bobby or Jay?
Yeah, it was me. I just wanted to point to this Ipswich Aston Villa result. I think it's of psychological significance to Chelsea.
It
Where
is. Yeah.
yeah, we're pretty, very very early in the league, but going into the next weekend
John Duran
still.
didn't score. Jeez. Coach, Duran didn't score.
Yeah. So
going
go
going
ahead,
into the
Bobby.
next weekend still sat in the top four positions is psychologically important and encouraging to the team. There's something about being up there that keeps you up there, if you know what I'm trying to say. It's a swag.
I mean, it defines your mentality, though, doesn't
It
it?
sure does. That's the point I'm making. You mentally actually live that space.
Something to
And
hold on to.
yes, and I think it will help them, especially a young team. Now, will it be the be all and end all? Of course not. It's only 5 or is it 6 games in? But will it be the psychological attribute that can help them understand that, look, we can do this. We're capable. I think it goes a long way. So yeah, that was an important result for us, and I hope it reflects that way come May next year.
It really was. And had Arsenal not won that game, we'll be in third place, actually.
We will. And to think there's
Yeah.
only a point, not even up to 3 points between us and the three on top of us, with 5 games to go. Now I mean, 5 games in. Now you compare that to last season, and it's night and
Hmm.
day.
It's refreshing, really. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Mikael saying was being sold as a multi-future Ballon d'Or winner. Didn't achieve much at all in his career. Not generational.
He actually
Even
did. I
League
want to
One
come back on
players
that one.
can be superstar. Thank you. Finally, somebody that's
No,
on
no,
my side. I'm happy. Even League One players can
Ipswich
be
is really
superstars.
no, no.
I'm
Sorry,
thinking of
generational talented.
sorry,
Mullen
coach.
from
No, no.
Rexford as an example. Yeah, superstar status for me, the
Balotelli
easiest
won
to
the
achieve.
Serie A 3 times. He's won a Champions League and he's won 8 domestic cup trophies.
Who has?
Balotelli.
Yeah, but again,
He's
he was
won
a
a lot.
superstar. But he doesn't. I don't think you need to win all those things to be a superstar. I think superstar has a lot to do mainly on popularity, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
that's part of it. But he was very popular at the time. He was the starting striker for Italy. He won the Champions League. He won 3 Serie A titles when he was playing for Inter Milan at the time. He went to some big teams. He was a superstar at the time. And like you say, popularity, he was everywhere on every billboard. Popularity helps as well, but he was a
So
superstar
yeah,
at that
sometimes
time.
what you win, things you win, drive your popularity, or the
It
club you
helped.
play
Of course,
for
it helped.
alone can drive your popularity.
Of course, it helps. Yeah, but he was a superstar at that time. For a little short time, he was a superstar. Yeah, not it wasn't long, but he was a superstar for a short time.
We need to go go into this another time.
some
The Manchester
I
United
haven't
against
seen
Chelsea.
so many wild
Yeah, go
takes
ahead,
in
Jay.
one. I haven't seen so many wild takes in one show.
What you're saying, Jay? You're saying he wasn't a superstar, or he wasn't good, or
I'm not
Look,
going to
he's
continue
still
this one.
coming at me.
Yeah, I think you definitely ate something during that break.
Here's the thing. I think this will make for a good debate. There's a lot to learn from it. Unfortunately, there's no a dictionary or a book, no definite definition for each of the statuses in question. And in most cases, it all depends on who you ask.
If you're bringing
Yeah,
the
it's
Duran
personal feelings as
argument
well. Research, yeah.
in that special show, if you're bringing that Duran argument, I'm not joining that show.
John Duran did win the under 14 championship in Colombia.
I
Oh,
still,
right.
yeah,
That's
so
that's
he's a
fair enough.
superstar,
I
right?
was not aware of it. Now it's justified.
Honestly, I'd still say he's a superstar. But any other thing you guys want us to talk about? Should we just call it a day? I think it's been an excellent discussion, and Mikhail joined with some delicious contribution in the chat. Also, I don't think there's anything else. So I want to say thank you to all of you. Thank you to Mikhail for joining. Thank you to Choma yourself, and thank you to the captain of the house, Constantine Dunton. Big up to you, brother. Thank you to Jay for joining. Thank you to Bobby. I appreciate you, the legendary Bobby. To Big Ood. All of you in the chat, I appreciate you all. And if I miss your name, apologies. I'm only human. See you guys next time. God bless us all. And cheers.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Pick up.
Ice in my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, la, 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 la. And I'm up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend. That's right, in the AM, that's my only friend. No light, just the sun coming up on the horizon. I lose track of time, yeah, I move fast and climb a new class divine, yeah, true passion shines. And I'm through passing time, I choose stacking dimes. You snooze half the time while I move passing by. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, la, 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 la. I've been driving this train, years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, la, 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 la. La, 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 la. Oh, oh. up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend. That's right, in the AM, that's my only friend. No light, just the sun coming up on the horizon. I lose track of time, yeah, I move fast and climb a new class divine, yeah, true passion shines. And I'm through passing time, I choose stacking dimes. You snooze half the time while I move passing by. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la.